welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 33. Really, we've got like hundreds of these episodes, but we rebooted the podcast last year with a brand new set and everything, trying to bring you a cooler looking show. Great Deku Tree floating on back there. We'll see. Might swap that out someday, but for now, we'll just keep hoping that Ocarina of Time HD is a real thing someday in our future. Right. Maybe. Anyways, I am your host as always, Mr. Nathaniel Janc, and to my left, my immediate left, in the middle is Mr. Eric Moore.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome, man. And then way over, even further that way, like past Eric, like if I just knock his mic over, is someone that maybe some of our very, very oldest subscribers might remember. He's been on this channel before, technically, a long time ago when I think he worked under me officially. I think that was like the official order of things. Mr. Zion, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great, Nate. And Nate,
muted.
No, he's not muted.
No, he's not muted.
We can't hear him.
Nice. Cool.
Nope, I'm good now, right?
Now you're good.
Hey.
There, maybe you were muted. Now what's happening?
I was muted on my own, by my own accord.
It's all good. I told you to.
It happens. So that's Zion. He, for those who don't know, he's from Nintendo Life. That's where he's been chilling at for how long now? It's been a few years, hasn't it?
It's been, I forget. It's been like 2 or 3 years now. But and by the way, Nate, you are the reason I'm like here today. You know, like I had a friend tell me that Zelda Informer was hiring back in the day. You know, looking for volunteers. And you were the one that like I did my interview with, and you brought me on. So like I thank you again for just like giving me a place to, like do work and like be creative and
get
so
experience.
Like not to
next thing you know, you're in Nintendo Life. Next thing you know, you're more successful than I am.
that is not a thing. You have an excellent platform that's all your own. So like you deserve props for that. Seriously. So
yeah, it's all good. So we used to do podcasting together back in the day at Zelda Informer, the Zelda Informer podcast. One of the best podcasts we've probably ever done was our in-person E3 one in 2016. Rob, fun. Zion, Eric, and me. It was good times. It's sort of a bit of a reunion. We'll see if Rob ends up popping in the chat. Maybe I'll have to hit him up. I know I got him on Facebook. I haven't talked to him in a bit though. But how's life been going? We like to start this with a little bit of like what have we been playing lately? How are things going? So let's start with you because God, I haven't talked to you in so long, man. Right? Never since you messaged me, I was like, dude, I was just performing in a band like 4 months ago there. Why the hell didn't I message you? Well, I don't know why you didn't message me.
We just drove past Chip. Are you still in Chippewa?
Yeah, still in Chippewa. Born and raised.
Okay. Yep. We drove because we flew into Minneapolis to go visit family for the holidays, and we drove past, and I was like, we didn't stop, and obviously I wasn't going to run into you, but actually I did run into Eric that one time at like a fair.
Right? Yeah.
So anyone unaware, like I live in Oregon now, but I used to live in Wisconsin. And so there's this crazy small world thing that, Nate from Zelda Informer and Zelda Dungeon eventually, but like was, I can't remember if you did stuff with Zelda Dungeon now I think about it, but anyways, like we're just from the Midwest, so state.
We'll gloss
over. No worries. No worries.
But no, all in the same state. That's just it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even more when like, you're in a band. Oh, you've performed in like Eau Claire and like near me, and I just never knew. Right. And I literally could have gone to all your shows around here, and I just didn't even know.
I mean, it's hard to do everything. Absolutely. I get it. It's okay. but life's been good, like I played a show with my band in July. We did like an outdoor festival, and I like flew back to Wisconsin for it, and that was a ton of fun. It was really like it wasn't taxing, I shouldn't say that, because like I got to see some friends that I hadn't seen in a while, but it was just like nonstop, just hello, good to see you, yes, it's been so long, but yeah, I miss Wisconsin, not the snow necessarily, but
don't blame me,
but how
no.
Yeah. How have you guys been handling the weather? I heard, Nate, it didn't go so well for you, right?
I mean, you mean like when the big storm happened in my house? Yeah. I mean, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah, that wasn't good. That's about the only really bad thing, though. We've had a pretty easy winter overall, I'd say, so far. Like, what, today was maybe the most snow we've had? What's out of the We haven't had any, like, major, like, 2-3 feet of snow.
No, not 2-3 feet, but I think we did have the one.
We had one that was rough. That was a really heavy morning.
Like,
that was it.
What was it? Like a couple days before the severe thunderstorms with almost the tornadoes.
Then it all melted like 3 days later because it's just Welcome to Wisconsin.
It's absolutely
either going to be winter
insane.
wonderland or it's like the middle of summer in December. I don't know. You can say it's global warming, but it's been this way for a while, so I don't even know. Wisconsin's just, you can get all 4 seasons in the span of a week.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, the weather hasn't been too bad. Everything's going mostly okay. I mean, I'm busy as hell as always. That's what happens when you're a dad and going to college and everything else. So
yeah, for real.
And Eric, he's just slaving away.
He'll work.
Slaving away.
Amounts of work.
Yeah.
So. I'm surprised he finds time for the podcast, to be honest.
There are days where I'm like sitting at my desk going, the podcast shit. All right, I'm fine. Once I'm here, though, once I'm actually here and going, I'm good.
You're out of that environment.
Yeah.
You're in a not as much pressure.
Yeah. No, even I can be extremely tired, and generally once we up until we start, once we start, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good now.
Speaking of being tired, have you been playing any games lately?
Just Madden.
Just the Madden?
Yeah, just Madden.
Getting your ass kicked?
Yeah, pretty much.
By the computer?
Yeah.
Just Madden. Man.
Which I realized I have to restart this game anyways because I didn't change my coaching strategy stuff.
Boy. How about you, Zion? What have you been playing lately?
I made a list of things that I've been playing because I can never, my memory is just awful on the spot. But on vacation, when we went back to Wisconsin, we flew into Minneapolis and had a 3-hour drive ahead of us. So I restarted Oxenfree on Switch, which is like a little indie title. Yep. And I played that before, I played it for an hour on the plane and then 3 hours in the car, and it was done. And that was a lot of fun. It was just kind of a little point and click adventure almost with these kids that go to this spooky island and encounter kind of ghosts, but I also kind of don't want to say more than that for anyone who wants to play. But yeah, there's a sequel coming out this year, and that was really fun. I've also been playing Super Metroid because I've never beaten it before.
Never.
I started it up. Probably the time I was at Zelda Informer, I think I was playing Super Metroid and I got lost probably halfway through and just put it down and was I tried to read a guide, and because I didn't use the guide the whole way through, I had no idea where to look at the guide because it's a Metroid game. How are you supposed to, I didn't even know how to find out where I was supposed to go because the guide was I don't know. It's not like a Zelda game where you can just be I'm in the forest temple,
No, you're on screen 4 to the left and up 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I found where I was supposed to go, and then the guide would tell me that I didn't have a certain item, or it told me that I had to use an item that I didn't have, and I was just I'm done. But so I restarted it just a couple days ago, and I'm almost done with it, I think. But I really want to play all of the Metroid games before Dread. So last year I played Zero Mission and Metroid Samus Returns. And so now I'm starting off this year with Super Metroid, and then I'll play Fusion. And then I feel then I've earned the right, or I just want to enjoy Dread as much as I can. So I'm trying to kind of, I don't know, not ease my way into it, but just I want it to be the best experience Dread can be. So... But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing, I guess.
That's not bad. Yeah. So I've been still doing my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond streams every Tuesday until I get through the Elite Four. Update for everyone who doesn't see it. I still don't enjoy the game, so but I will finish the Elite Four because I have dedicated myself to it and beat it before Legends Arceus, and hope that I get into that one because I haven't been into Pokemon for a long time. So
right.
But this was kind of I gave people an option, and they wanted to torture me by making me play a game I don't want to play. So,
what's the last Pokemon game that you've played before Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl?
I mean, I've played. Yeah. I've physically turned on and or bought and turned on several Pokemon games. But how many have I even bothered to get past the first gym or the first area?
Yeah,
not that many. Gen 1 and Gen 2 fully beat. Way back in the day. And then Let's Go, which means Gen 1, so I got some nostalgia there, so I'm really enjoying that. But again, that's just revisiting Gen 1. But then you start looking at it oh yeah, I also played Fire Red. Well, of course I did. So
you just love Gen 1.
Dude, I people say I'm a Gen 1er,
Gen 1,
and apparently that's a negative
all
thing.
The chances.
I just go like this. It's one of those things where and I'm seeing this as I play through Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, because I have played Diamond and Pearl like briefly back in the day. As I'm going through it, just because I kept wondering what made me fall out of love with Pokemon, and I think I just realized over time it's just super repetitive. And after you've done it like so many games in a row, you get to this point where it's just not really that fun anymore, because you're just doing the same thing over and over. And I understand they've expanded it, and like for people who get really into multiplayer, obviously they've really expanded all the little mechanics for that. And then you had people getting all mad when Sword and Shield came out because, oh, well, don't have the national dex, and now people swear off this game, and they're swearing off Arceus for not having it. You know what? I really don't care. There was basically two reasons I played. One, I really enjoyed raising my Pokemon to level 100 and kicking everyone's ass. And I did play multiplayer back then with the little link cables and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's easier today, still, it's just not as fun to me today. Because I think back then, you're really only playing with your friends in your little circle. Mm-hmm. Now you can play with like anybody. And then you find out that everyone can kick your ass. And it just isn't that really fun, because I don't have the time to dedicate to building like the perfect roster,
nano building,
and breeding just right, and getting just the right movesets. Like, I don't have time to learn all that crap, so it's just not
you're
as enjoyable.
You're onto something too with like the fact of like, now if we, you know, as adults, like not all of our friends are just like playing Pokemon right now. Mm-hmm. And so I think there was definitely something special about like, you know, going to like many people going to work or going to school and like talking with their friends about the game. And like, it was kind of like the Breath of the Wild thing back then, was like everybody was playing it. And nowadays, like there's so many people that play Pokemon. Yes. But I think it's definitely more fun when you have like your neighbors. When you can go up and show your neighbor, like, dude, look at how high a level my Blastoise is right now, you know, and like, oh, do you want to trade?
I think a huge part of it too is that you're talking about that. It's community. Mm-hmm. I'm in college, but it's online. I'm at home. I'm out in the dorms. I'm hanging out with people. My only friend is sitting next to me. He doesn't really play, so like it's kind of like to me, Pokemon was always more fun playing with people. And while online makes us more connected than ever, it was that in-person experience that I love so much, and you don't really get that. And I mean, this is true of a lot of games, by the way. All the couch co-op games back in the day, like it was still a blast. I just don't have people to play with anymore locally. I'll play online, but again, it's not as much fun when I see an avatar throw up a silly wah-wah little meme on the screen, and it's like, that's just not, like, I want to see your face when I destroy you. If I can't see your face, I don't care. Go ahead and destroy me all you want, because it don't really matter. I'm just a username on a screen. Some of the fun, you know, it does come back a little bit now that I do YouTube stuff and do live streams like Splatoon 2. I have a lot of fun doing that on stream and stuff like that. But that's because I can, you know, if I want to voice with them, I can throw them on Discord, or I can, you know, just, I don't know, they're in the chat yelling at me. So, or maybe it's just because they buy me shots and I'm probably buzzing halfway through the play session. I have no idea.
Yeah, you're really enjoying it.
Really enjoying it then. I swear I play my best Splatoon when I don't remember it the next day. So no, yeah, I don't know.
Forget about it.
Pokemon just isn't really clicking for me. I heard the Elite Four apparently is really challenging in this game, so maybe I'll have fun with that, or maybe I'll just get frustrated and just not care. And I would like to say I shouldn't get frustrated at a challenge, but then it'll always be like, yeah, but what's the challenge? One, have the right Pokemon. Okay, well, because I didn't raise the exact right Pokemon for it the whole time, guess what I get to do? Go out in the world and grind. And that just doesn't even sound... Because, like, how do you beat it? You got to level the right Pokemon. Well, okay, then. Like, if I don't already have the right team now, I got to rebuild my team then, and then I got to waste hours and hours and hours grinding. I'm like, that just doesn't sound even remotely fun to me. Like, just thinking about that just feels like a giant waste of time when I could be playing something I actually enjoy. The thing is, I played like World of Warcraft for 14 years. Like, I'm all about grinding.
Yeah, you totally get it.
I get it, but like, I get to the end level and that's it. I don't have to level anything else. I can just be that character and perfect my gameplay with that character and take on anything. I can't do that in this game. You have to have specific Pokemon for that. So I don't know. I'm not having a bad time. I would say it's not like it's the least enjoyable thing I've played, but it's probably the least enjoyable thing I've played in the last, let's just say the Switch era. I think only some weird hamster indie game is probably the only thing I put below it at the moment. It was definitely meant for phones or something. I don't know. It was not a very good game.
I feel like Diamond and Pearl might not have been the like I wouldn't say that you're never going to enjoy a Pokemon game again, you know, just because like Diamond and Pearl isn't your thing. I haven't played them yet, but I look at them and I don't want to play them. They just don't look fun to me, I guess.
But that's the thing. I'm stupidly excited for Legends Arceus. And
good.
I think it's because it's still going to be grindy. There's still going to be, you know, that stuff. But Breath of the Wild can feel that way. But there's just something about it being so fundamentally different from what Pokemon has always been. And I know all the Pokemon fans yell at me about that. Pokemon's changed. There hasn't always been gyms. There hasn't always been that. That's fine. But you're still leveling Pokemon to beat something. Yeah. And this is like a raw world we're going into. The Pokemon can actually attack the trainer. That's new. What the hell? Right. So, and the world is maybe not open world, but open area. You could argue what's kind of like Breath of the Wild, except the areas are interconnected, so you can go from, you don't have to go out to a hub to get to a new area, but still, I'm cool with that. Like Xenoblade works that way. It's open area. Yeah. So that doesn't bother me as long as when you're in that area, you can truly go anywhere. And it seems like we'll be able to do that. Like, you can fly in some Pokemon games. You can surf in some Pokemon games. You can ride bikes, but like everything about it in this one, from what we've seen, just looks better. Like the swimming and the surfing looks so much cooler. Flight looks so much better, and I can't explain why, because it's been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, the way it's done in this is like, yeah, okay, this is what I've been waiting for like 20 plus years. This is really cool. It's probably not going to live up to my hopes, but that's okay. I'm just glad to see that they're trying something different, and maybe that's what I'm excited about. Because like, it's not like I hate Pokemon. I love new Pokemon Snap. I had a blast with that. So, I don't know. I think it's just the gameplay loop. I'm just I've got tired of it a long time ago, and it's still not clicking.
I get what you mean. Like, I played through Sword and Shield up to the point where... Well, I played Shield specifically. I played up to the point where I evolved my starter Pokemon. And I only beat like 3 gyms at that point, and I already got bored with the game and put it down. And I think there was something with like there's a memory that I have where I walked into like a hotel or a Pokemart or something like that, and a battle started with, I don't know, the Team Rocket equivalent, and the battle, like transitioned, and like the trainer pops up, and like they throw out their Pokeball, and you see that animation, but then the background it was no longer like the building that I was in. It was just like this purple kind of foggy, smoky area, and it just didn't match.
Kicked you out of it. Breaks immersion.
It does, totally. Yeah. And I just remember feeling like this sucks. I hated it. And you're absolutely right. Like, it broke it.
That's the way I feel when I watch, ever since Breath of the Wild. So, I love Breath of the Wild. Favorite game of all time. Went and played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
and
sure.
Horizon Forbidden West coming up. I'm kind of excited for. But when I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, something dawned on me, and it's really standing out in these Forbidden West, is that you're clipping through the foliage all the time. That doesn't happen in Breath of the Wild. It reacts to you. And like it's to me, it's like, it used to never bother me, because a lot of games are like that. Mm-hmm. But now, ever since Breath of the Wild, it's like, now that I've experienced something I love.
Damn you, Nintendo!
Well, the thing is, like, even like The Witcher has like stuff react to you. Like it's, you start to notice, oh yeah, I really like that in The Witcher 3. Like the fact that the world reacted.
I stepped on a stick and it actually broke.
Like, and the thing is, like, that's a Wii U game, and here we are with a PlayStation 5 game coming out, and here's Aloy just running through 5-foot tall grass with, like, it's not even there. It's not even it's like the environment doesn't exist, and that to me is so immersion breaking, and that happens in Pokemon all the time. You're just randomly fighting in an area that's not even like where you are. It's weird, but I don't know. I guess in the chibi style, it doesn't bother me as much in this one. But because we did Sword and Shield, I didn't play. I never actually bought Sword and Shield, but I did play the E3 demo, and that was one thing. It was like, why am I? Okay, I'm in this area. They got that demo going. You're doing the water thing, and then like I'm fighting, and why am I not fighting in where I am? This doesn't. Okay, whatever. Let's just get our footage.
It just doesn't match up.
And
you'd think you'd think the Pokemon Company would be able to like just do a better job, right? And so, like, I think we might be on the same page with like Legends Arceus as well, where like I don't know if, obviously, like, we haven't played it yet, so like we don't know quality wise how it stacks up. But I looking at it, I feel like it's not going to be like a I don't think it's going to be like a Game of the Year contender, but it looks like it's just going to be fun. And like you said, it's different. And that's just like, we needed the Pokemon company to like take a risk. And like they've done tons of like collaborations with like, I think they did like a tactical RPG with Koei Tecmo one time. And like little things like that are fun, but it's not, but it feels like we're finally getting the like Pokemon RPG that, like you said, like Pokemon people wanted for years.
Yeah, they've done a lot of interesting experiments.
That's true. Yeah, but nothing like in the way that like we've wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like it's always been like spin-offs, like Detective Pikachu, great game, but also it's not like the main line, and that's cool. But and what's awesome is like there's some people that are like, oh yeah, well Legends Arceus isn't mainline either. Well, go talk to Game Freak about that then, because they have publicly stated it's mainline several times. So it's kind of like, to me, this is like my new generation of Pokemon, because this is the first one that feels new and fresh to me. The longtime Pokemon fans that play every iteration, fine, Sword and Shield, all your new gens might feel great. To me, it's like, yeah, but every time I flip it on, sure, there might be new additions. Now there's Gigamaxing and there's stadiums, but it's still just like, to me, it's like, okay, we're giving you Pokemon again. It's the same thing, but this time you can do like 3 new things. And that's, but by the way, underneath the surface, it's still the same thing. And like, here's the
hope
like,
you're hungry.
It's like, oh, you're getting mad that Pokemon game's a Pokemon game. But yeah, I guess, yeah, the gameplay loop just isn't captivating enough to me without major changes. Like Zelda's always felt fresh because there's been significant changes just in fundamental gameplay. Like you think about, obviously going from top down into the 3D world with Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask was kind of samey. And to be fair, so was Twilight Princess. But then we get things like the Wind Waker, which just is so floaty, and not just the different art style, just the combat. It's so floaty and different. And then you get the Skyward Sword, which is just, that's just completely different than Zelda's ever done. And then you go from that to Breath of the Wild, which again, completely different.
Yeah.
And while they still somehow capture the essence of Zelda, just the gameplay itself is fundamentally different in each one outside of the base. Okay, yeah, you're whacking a sword and hitting an enemy. Well, okay, if we're just going to complain about that, then there should only be like one shooting game in the galaxy, because the billion games you're shooting a weapon, but all of them have little differences. So I don't know.
And then for me, I think part of the reason why I fell out with Pokemon 2 is they kind of got away from one of their main concepts of the game. And I've stated this on the podcast before. Yeah, well, how many times were we bashed in the face with "Gotta Catch 'Em All"?
Like no one ever was.
Now with all these new games, there's 900 and some Pokemon. It just feels unobtainable.
Gotta be careful with copyright.
What? Yeah, right. Jesus,
can't sing the Pokemon song anymore.
It just feels unattainable now, and that was part of the game, was to catch them all and to own all of the Pokemon. That took away part of the game to me, and that just we were bashed in the face with that as kids, and now when I play Pokemon, it's like I gotta catch them all. Wait,
you can't.
I can't.
You can't. No.
So it's that's I think part of what happened with me is that they took away part of the game.
That was a thing I really liked about, and some people said, well, that's what you want the national dex. I'm like, but you're missing the point. Let's say I want to catch all the Pokemon, which is now 800, 900, or whatever it is, and you bought Sword and Shield, and let's say it did have a national dex. I can't get all the Pokemon in the game. I got to buy all these other games to get all of them. And you could say, go on the market, go trade for them.
898.
Yeah. You think I'm trading for like 700 plus Pokemon? Like that just does not sound like, that's not catching them for starters. That's trading, and trading has always been part of it. But not 700 different Pokemon.
It was like three or four to trade to actually get to evolve.
Yeah, like gotta catch them all. Okay, you gotta catch all 151. I can do that, or I could trade for like to get the starters from a friend. Then cool, like we can do that. That's cool.
Game Genie from you.
Then you get to then you get to Gold and Silver. Like, okay, cool. I'll transfer my Pokemon over, and then you get to the third one. And you're like, I didn't even catch them all in Gold and Silver. Now I'm into the next one. I gotta go back, and like you get to the point where you fall behind on it, and it's not. You're not really keeping up with it anymore. And then there was the whole Pokemon Bank, and it's just I just got to a point where with the gotta catch 'em all thing that maybe, and that's part of it too, where that was part of the fun. Like now I'm running around the game and there'll be a new Pokemon that pops up in the wild, and I'm like, oh, you're like a level 12 and I'm like 40. Yeah, I'm done. Bye. See ya. And it's like, but like when I was a kid, it'd be like, oh, I haven't
I haven't seen you yet.
I don't have that one.
Have I got that one yet? Yeah,
I don't have that one. Oh, I'm too high level. I'm too high level. Hold on. Let me get out.
Let me go missing no one.
No. Let me keep a Metapod in there and just harden some more, and use the one Pokeball that the more turns you're in, the higher chance you catch it. Not about the damage. So you just gotta get like the you gotta keep a Magikarp in there for splash nonstop. Right. Something that they don't really hurt you, but you can just keep going turn after turn after turn. Eventually, I'm catching you. Or you just say, screw it, I'm gonna throw out a billion Pokeballs, and statistically, it's possible to catch it with just a basic Pokeball eventually. Yeah.
Or you just, like I said, or you just missing the Master Ball and friggin' you have just
I always no fun.
The worst. I'm the worst Pokemon. I waste the Master Ball. Oh man, but I don't know. Another game I've been diving back into. This one takes me back because I just really had an itch to replay it, and I spent some time the last couple of days. Secret of Mana.
Wow, nice.
So that's actually my second favorite game of all time.
Are you playing the
folks, I have finally played the third one in the series that everyone said was better, and I'm sorry, it's not better to me.
I've heard such conflicting things. Yeah, like that. Some people love it, some people hate it, but
by the way, I like it a lot better than Children of Mana. I like it a lot better than some of the other Mana games. That third one, but it's just something about Secret of Mana, and there's probably nostalgia that plays a role in that, but I always say, because people always look at nostalgia so negative, you only think that because nostalgia's a positive. You should hope to feel nostalgia for your favorite games as you age. If you don't anymore, that means you don't like it anymore, and that's okay. It means your fond memories, they don't really hold up anymore, and that's okay. I played it, and my fond memories still hold up. It's still amazing. It's still stupidly difficult at times. I still forget things, even though I've played through the game a billion times, and it's just fun. It was quirky. You could do multiplayer back in the day on the SNES. Like, it was one of the few couch co-op multiplayer games back then, because most multiplayer games back then were like 1v1 battles and stuff. So it was just a lot of fun, and we don't have, in my opinion, a lot of RPGs like this, which is interesting because action-adventure. It reminds me, strangely, of like Xenoblade, sort of, where you can like pause sort of mid-fight and like pick different attacks for different characters, but like it's also live action. And it's kind of cool. It was actually surprised me how much I'm like, this does really kind of remind me of Xenoblade combat a little bit. You're not quite, because you can't like fully pause it. Like you can basically just say, oh crap, mom's calling, I better just stop mid-fight with 2 HP left, don't worry about it, no problem, let me just bring up the menu quick. Like, not quite like that, but it made actually kind of want to play Xenoblade some more. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and it's one of those franchises that it's never really gone away per se. Square has slowly released other ones, but I feel like this one, and even the third one, was like they were still treating it almost like Final Fantasy. Like, it was just a big deal, and we're going to actually put some effort into it. And since then, it's like that's kind of our bastard franchise that we just every now and then we throw it up. Oh, it's Children of Mana. Oh, it's like, Tree of Mana. No, like, give us a real new, like, look what you're doing with Octopath. Look what you're doing with Project Triangle Strategy. Why can't we get that attention to detail to this franchise for a new entry?
I feel like But we got the Trials of Mana remake, in full 3D, but beyond that, I think the last one was PS2 with like Dawn of Mana, and that was like 15 years ago. That's crazy.
And it's like Nintendo's the perfect audience for it. You're proving it with Octopath Traveler and Trials that you can do this old school style, bring it back in a fresh way. Like, but whatever. That's me wishful thinking that Square Enix actually gives a crap what I think, which they probably don't.
Well, I mean, surprisingly, like, I think it just got announced a few months ago that we're getting a new Star Ocean game. So, like, dude, the sky's the limit. Like, right? You never know.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I keep hoping that we're getting a new Snowboard Kids game, and it just hasn't happened yet.
Did you see that merch, the Fan Gamer merch?
Yes.
That they. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that made me like. I was like, why they wouldn't just release this because, right? Yeah. It has to happen. And now, if we do get a new one,
it's probably just going to come to N64 Online, and they're just going to call it a day.
I guess. Yeah. I'm trying to think if any Atlas games have come to NSO yet. I know Japan has Shin Megami Tensei games, but. Yeah. I don't know if we've gotten any NSO Atlas games yet, but I guess Sega, Sega.
I think Atlas is more committed to Switch these days, though, than they once were. especially after Shin Megami Tensei 5 instantly became the best-selling one in the franchise. All of a sudden, look, what did they announce when they announced the sales of, we got 2 more games coming. And by the way, another game that when I haven't even announced yet. By the way, I look forward to that announcement later this year. It's like, okay, Atlas, we get it. You're all in on Switch. Maybe you should have been all in back in 2017 when it was selling out. That might have been like a key. Hey, look, this is selling out. Maybe they want our games. I don't know. Maybe we should, the Japanese market loves handheld. Who knew? Like, maybe we should get in on this. I don't think they realized back then that the PlayStation was just going to kind of fade and almost not even come back. It's weird. PlayStation 5 is not even doing that well over there. It's so weird.
It's strange that we still haven't gotten a mainline Persona game on Switch yet. Like, I understand Persona 5, but like, so a little thing that I just thought of right now is like maybe there was a contract about like Shin Megami Tensei 5. Like maybe they wanted to wait until that game came out, and then they were like, then we can release Persona 3 and 4, and put them out there, so that way Shin Megami Tensei 5 had like a better chance to survive, maybe not, but I could see that being the thing, and now I think Persona just celebrated their 20th anniversary, something crazy like that. Like and that, so there's tons of, like they just announced the fight
crazy
game.
Anniversaries lately. Because the Zelda and the Metroid 35th, Donkey Kong 40th, which they didn't really talk about. We had Pokemon 25th, Persona 20th.
25th,
yeah, like it's
for Persona.
Wow.
Yes, and
that
as
feels
Brian
like
C said in the chat,
I feel like you're lying. You're not, but
thank you for your super chat, Brian. He says Square definitely don't care. They think crypto and NFT is the future. So we're not going to dive too much into that. I did do a video on that already.
Yeah,
we'll see when it impacts a game coming to Switch. We'll probably talk about it. I'm sure it will someday. If not Switch, then Nintendo's next platform. All right, so let's kind of get into a little bit of the headline topic, and then we'll get into some other stuff. So, guys, we're going to be talking a lot about stuff coming this year, stuff we want to see this year, old IPs we maybe want to bring back, and then a little bit about like what game we already know about, we're most excited for. I think, obviously, it's probably pretty easy across the board. And I can already see what IP he's ready to talk about there. But first, let's get into Wii U ports. So, every year, I think there has been at least one Wii U port to Switch. That's been previously only on Wii U. And believe it or not, folks, we don't have every single Wii U exclusive yet. Xenoblade Chronicles X, that's a big one that's just been floating out there. No one knows what's happening with it. The reports are that like Monolith Soft isn't happy with it or doesn't like the game, or there's discourse. I have no idea. I don't know what the drama is about that. There we go. Yeah, like that game has not come over yet. That's a huge exclusive one that a lot of people want to see. Very different from the other Xenoblade games. And then obviously there's Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, which aren't technically exclusive but are in HD form, and Zelda Game Cell, and those were 2 big ones. There's other things too that I'm not sure that we'll ever get. Just trying to remember off the top of my head. Like I don't think we're ever gonna get the Paper Mario Color Splash. I don't think that's ever gonna come over because I feel like because they give us Origami King, they're not really going to go back to that.
I kind of agree. I think it would be nice to see it, but I could almost see that coming as like a digital only title almost maybe as well.
Maybe if we even maybe end of era, we need to milk the last little bit of Wii U games that we can. Because they've brought a lot over. Like they're the only ones that haven't come over to me are like ones that they're not confident in or they don't control. Like I'd love to see Zombie U come over. Mm-hmm. They already ported it to 360 and other platforms.
That's right.
That's not up to Nintendo. It's up to Ubisoft. And there's just some other titles out there that weren't very... I'm trying to remember. There was one shooting something game that was exclusive that Nintendo paid for that ended up not being very good. Can't remember.
Oh, Devil's Third?
Devil's Third, that's right. That's right, Devil's Third. So, like, I don't think, like, they would ever...
I think you're
I'm not saying that it won't come over. I'm just saying that if it does, it won't be advertised. It'll be kind of like...
That game was so hard to find for a while that, like, you just... Like, they brushed it... They threw it under the rug entirely. And then they stomped on it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember they were hyping that up, and then it came out, and it's like,
yeah, I think they were really embarrassed by it. At least, like, that's how it felt from like the outside looking in. Yeah. I would love to see like Wii Sports Club come over in some form. Like, you know, just
I'm
like
surprised we haven't
call
had
it
that
Switch
yet.
Sports or something. Yeah. I don't know what they're waiting for, but
and like it was a weird way they delivered it back then, but They were just experimenting around. The whole rental thing, and
that's right. Yeah, you could like couldn't you buy the different sports individually, digitally, or something like that? Yeah.
It was really weird. Thank you, Ross Gusman, for the 5 too, and he says, I'm betting that Persona 4 Golden is getting shadow dropped at the next Direct, like it did on Steam. It'll prep people for Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Maybe. I mean, it is strange. You mentioned before that we don't have an actual mainline Persona when everything else surrounding it is selling so well on Switch. Like, why don't they just do it? The only thing I can think of is maybe contracts with other companies.
Sure.
Blocking it, but I don't really know. Like, Atlas seems to love Nintendo, so I don't know why we don't.
I mean, that could be, though. They could have a contract with Sony about Persona 5. You could be onto something with that. But it's, we like you said, we just don't know.
Yeah. Obviously I kind of laid out a bunch of Wii U games. Like, what ones, like, Eric, what ones would you like to see come over? Because you didn't really partake much in the Wii U, Eric.
I know this one's not an exclusive to Wii U.
It's okay,
but the Arkham series. Get it like a remastered Arkham series. Batman Arkham series?
Okay, yeah.
Because I had a ton of fun playing with those back in the day with Chris, and it was just, they're great games. So that'd be a fun series to see on the Switch,
especially with the Batman.
Yeah, right. Batman.
I never played Arkham City. I loved Asylum.
Oh, Asylum!
So I would love to see those come back.
Even on Wii U, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
it feels weird saying even on Wii U, but I'm like, come on, guys, it did perform better on other platforms. So I can't. Okay, like, I'm not trying to slight Wii U. Wii U was more powerful than the 360, but maybe not as powerful as this. Okay, whatever.
Do you guys ever see like the Game of the Year Batman Arkham City cover art? It's just like completely covered in like award text.
Yep.
It's one of the worst box arts I've ever seen.
There was a time when like a lot of companies were just shoving those all over the box on Game of the Year editions, and it's like, this doesn't make me want to buy it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like Batman.
You want me to
like
pay attention? Like maybe one big logo from some known outlet, Game of the Year, sure. And then maybe on the back, if you want to list all the different awards, fine. But like today, if they did it, it'd be like, okay, yeah, if you have like, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards like logo that you won a Game of the Year award or a Game or whatever award on the box. Now, sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous looking.
I agree. Like, I think it's fine to just put like 1 or 2 if you want, but like nobody's going to be able to see this here. But it's just like
it looks like a GameStop ad.
You can barely see Batman. It
looks like a GameStop ad.
Yeah, it does.
Legitimately like a GameStop ad. Oh, is that $10 or is that a 10 out of 10? I don't know.
It matches the colors too. Actually, now that you mention it.
Eric, got any other Wii U ones you want to see?
Again, not an exclusive, but how different do you guys think like Disney Infinity would be, like if it came out now on the Switch with like the tap for like the
for the
amiibo and stuff like that?
They had that, but they had the tap back then.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you had to use the accessory. That might have been Skylanders where you had to use the base stock.
Oh yeah.
But do you think that would do any better, like if it actually came out like this during the Switch era versus?
I think that's an interesting question in general for accessory based games, because like they really died out quickly. Because the whole Toys to Life thing, I think was more so about let's appeal to children, let's get them to collect these things and use them in games, and I don't remember it like it kind of phased in and out after 2 years. It kind of reminds me of like the music games. Like we buy all the accessories and Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all that, but then it just kind of died.
It dropped off. It felt like
Now technically,
it's always a bummer when like you like invest in this like physical hardware and then it doesn't work on like your future consoles as well.
Yeah. And that was one thing that's so nice about Amiibo is that it works on everything. Also, Nintendo I think has slowly realized over time that they're just fun to collect. People don't necessarily need them to do anything crazy in the games. And that's to me at least been nice, as Nintendo has had moments where they've locked content behind them that I thought was just
off twink.
Well, like I can't remember, they locked something for Samus Returns behind one of the Metroid amiibo, and it was like that amiibo came out, it was sold out, you couldn't get your hands on it for like 6 months, and it's like this is why you can't lock content behind an amiibo.
Yeah,
like you just
even
can't
the
do that.
Loftwing, I think, right, had the new Zelda Loftwing amiibo had the ability to like warp back up to the sky or something like that.
Yeah,
I
like
think,
instant
right?
warp without having to go to a statue, and it's like, okay, there's enough statues that I'm not saying the game needs it, but I'm like, it is convenient in the middle of a dungeon that I could just dip out and dip right back in. Like that's convenient. You're in the middle of a dungeon, you realize you're short on something, go back to Skyloft quick, come back. Like that, that is quicker. It is a time saver. It can save you 15 minutes. Like that's a game changer for some people. And I talked about that being one of the major features added to the game, that they locked it behind an amiibo that at least at launch was hard to get. I'm not saying it's hard to get now, but it was at launch. And then I just don't like when they do that. I get that they're trying to incentivize buying the amiibo, but I wish they'd realize the amiibo just sell because people like to collect. Like that Loftwing amiibo was going to sell out not because of that feature, but because it's a damn cool looking Zelda Loftwing amiibo. Who the hell wouldn't want that? You know, like I feel like it should have always just been cosmetics only. Like just have it be like a costume.
I mean, if you want to get like a treasure chest or something in a game,
you mean like they did for
Breath of the Wild? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah,
it doesn't. There's no exclusive content to it.
Or like Breath of the Wild, like you tap it and have all like these different boxes and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Or like you get Epona. Like okay, that's cool, but also you can get any other horse. You know, you don't have to have Epona. And Epona is technically not even the best one that you can have in the game. It's just a callback.
The gigantic pony. No.
What do you mean? It's the bears.
Yeah, right.
I could see, to answer your question too, Eric, I think I could see Disney Infinity coming back in like a digital format, kind of like Starlink, the way that they did that, how they came up with like all the physical toys for Starlink on Switch.
I was really surprised
but then they
physical.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. They had this all digital version that you just buy for, I guess, I don't remember how much it was, maybe $100 or something, and you just got everything right there, no toys. And I feel like Disney might have a hard time deciding on which version to release, since there's like 3 different Infinity games. But and actually the first one might not even be on Wii U. But I mean, regardless, I think there's potential for that to come back. Like I'm still surprised that Skylanders hasn't had somewhat of a resurgence in the past. I don't know, few years, but.
Sarah, and I always think like. Yeah. I wonder if some of these companies, if they look at this and go, because I got 3 kids, and I feel like these games would be targeted towards them, not me. Even if I'd be excited, it's like, yeah, but I'm excited because of what it was, not necessarily because if I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. So, like my kids, they like playing on Switch and Xbox and PlayStation, but I mean, to be honest, they probably spend more time playing games on their tablets and playing Roblox and stuff than they do any of that. So like I kept thinking, if it's games specifically targeted to kids like that, would it just be thrown on tablets instead of something like Switch? And then can you do something that requires microtransactions with kids to even have characters? Like I know there's believe me guys, I know a lot of kid games are too stupidly monetized on phones and tablets. I get that, but a lot of the monetization, it doesn't matter. Like in Roblox, you can have Robux and buy things, but you can also just play infinitely forever without ever spending a dime. But that's not how these games really work. You sort of need these things to make them worthwhile. Like Starlink, you could play all the way through it without having the extra things. It's just you have less lives, basically. So yeah, I would be cool for it to come back. And I'm not, by the way, this isn't me saying children don't play Switch. Of course they do. Okay, they play everything. Yeah. Kids play anything they think is cool. Okay, that's just the way it is. Phones and tablets are probably infinitely going to be considered cool until it's all VR glasses that we just walk around and things just pop up in front of us, you know, because that's not going to be dangerous ever.
I hate the future.
What do you mean? Did you see the future shopping at Walmart? The little tech demo they threw out there at CES? Oh, yeah.
I hate it so much.
Oh, yeah. The new way to shop at Walmart. All virtual, baby. It's like you're wearing VR goggles, and it's really stuttery. And I get that it was just a proof of concept, but like it's like, and this is faster than just going on Walmart.com and typing milk. How?
Yeah.
It's like the person that was playing forgot how to use their hands too, because I noticed they were like reaching back. So like the AI, for anyone who doesn't know, the AI is like, hey, I see that you actually have a gallon of milk at home. Are you sure you need one of those? And the person who's playing like reaches in the cart to grab the milk and drops the gallon back. They drop it back in the cart, and like it looks like an accidental like E3 demo mistake, you know. And they pick it back up and then they throw it.
It's
in
one
the
of those
freezer,
that
it's fine.
I can see for like maybe disabled people trying to self-support, where something like this in a different use case could have use, because they can't traditionally use a keyboard or a phone necessarily. Maybe they need alternative ways to control and order things. But the way this was presented, no. But I can see where there's they were presenting this is a concept for the future of shopping, and it's okay, I get it, but also just no. Because my whole thing is, if you're going to present a virtual, because it's all part of the metaverse now, the whole virtual everything, to try to make it into reality, it's but to do that, it needs to be more convenient than other methods. And if it's not, then it'll never take off. This is not replacing the Walmart app. It just isn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can literally have a set of groceries for different things that you eat weekly basis with meal set, and you can have it set to automatically reorder for you every other week, and you just go pick it up.
I like my reality.
Reality.
Totally,
some people don't like waiting in lines at grocery stores, so I can understand maybe where you can just check out without going through the line. But it's you can. It's called on the app. You can just drive up and put the groceries in your car. You don't even have to go check out.
Right.
They already have that. That technology exists. That's not new.
Yeah, the experience looked, I think I saw somebody mention in the tweet as well, that it looked fun to do one time, but no part of it looked more convenient besides...
I saw a lot of memes too where people were really dude, we have VR games where you can pick up bottles of wine that look significantly better than this one, and they're made on a budget, and this is Walmart. Well, what?
It'd be fun to just go on there and just see how much of the story can destroy.
That's mostly what people do. They'd be chucking things at that AI chick that's talking to you.
Shut up!
You have a gallon of milk at home. Would you like to put it back? Sure, let me chuck it at your face. Catch.
Microsoft went down 10 points.
10 points. Oh my.
Yeah, could you imagine if you're fined in VR?
Man, that doesn't even work anymore. You don't get discounts on dented cans anymore.
Yeah, right.
That used to be so much fun back in the day. Dude, I didn't think that worked when I watched Big Daddy. I was like, no, that doesn't work. So then I went to the store and dented a few cans. Yeah, sure, they took money off. Yeah, they don't anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
As long as the can's not open, they still charge you full price now.
I mean,
I'm the one always buying dented products because I assume that they're going to get thrown out or no one else is going to buy them. I should have been asking for discounts this whole time, right?
I'd be like, look, this is the last can on the shelf. I need, it's dented, man. I mean, can I get 10 cents off? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it.
Why not?
Yeah, so,
Wii U games.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah. I was getting to you because we got this in a roundabout way from Toys to Life and the VR stuff. Zion, what do you want to see come back from Wii U?
Yeah, so I definitely want Wind Waker back because I bought it on Wii U and I played it for about an hour, and it's one of my favorite Zelda games, and I just haven't had a good chance to go back and play it. And so being able to play it on the go and throw it on the TV, there are so many games, so many RPGs and things that I want to sink the time into, but I don't want to play them always tied to a console. And so, because I play my Switch handheld a lot. And so I think just having that freedom, even though I guess I could play my Wii U gamepad tablet all over the house, I'm not going to do that though.
I wouldn't say all over the house.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Right.
Within what? It's 6 feet. Oh, okay. It's not that far.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think I just really want Wii Sports to come back. I want to be able to play bowl with friends across the world and friends that I can't, go visit. And I mean, I live in a city now where I know nobody. So, and I used to play Wii Sports. Everybody used to play Wii Sports with their family and friends. And it just, that feels just like such a no-brainer.
Bar leagues for Wii bowling. Yeah. It was sweet back then.
I heard about that stuff. I don't think I was old enough to enter those, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, I'm old. I know.
You're not old.
The Wii came out. The Wii came out, and I was almost 20. So I mean, yeah, I got to live in the heyday of Wii bowling bar leagues.
We're a couple of years older. That's all right.
Just a couple of years.
And Wisconsin bars too. That's great.
Wisconsin bars. Oh yeah, and I can't imagine what it'd be like at the city bars. Yeah.
How would you even manage that?
I mean, so obviously the Zelda games coming back would be. Big for me. I want them to be a twin pack. I'm not so sure I trust Nintendo to do a twin pack of Zelda because they can milk it and get more sales. But I also think that that they came out on the same system, and it would be really cool to kind of just like revisit them before Breath of the Wild 2 this year. Like Skyward Sword HD, you'd be like, but they didn't bundle that. Yeah, but it had never been put in HD before. Plus, it needed completely reworked controls. They don't have to do that this time. They just have to put the inventory back to the way it used to be and call it good, because they redid the inventory so it could be on the gamepad. Well, they don't. Okay, whatever. They already have the game designed with inventory on one screen, so they just got to put that back on there. Maybe mess with the tingle bottles a little bit. I don't know how much they need to mess with it, but it was always tied to like Miiverse, so they'll probably have to do some changes with that. Or, bring back the Tingle tuner and just allow us some other way to do it, because they removed an entire quest line, which upsets me to this day. I don't care how many Tingle haters are out there. The story of Tingle with the Tingle tuner quest line was absolutely epic in Wind Waker, and it pissed me off when they removed, Tingle, what the fuck do these bottles have to do with Tingle? Tingle wasn't putting messages in the bottle and floating them out there. This is stupid. You're only calling them the Tingle bottles because it's replacing the Tingle quest line without giving you the story of Tingle. Now you want in the story of Tingle, you got to go play the balloon trip, and that's like the only one they put in English.
Right.
So
the ones we never got, right? Didn't they release one of them in Europe?
Yeah, they released one in English in Europe, and like none of them ever came here. The other two are Japanese only. I played fan translations of them, but it's like, his story's awesome. It's actually kind of sad, to be honest. Like, people like think he's all creepy. There's the reason he is the way he is, and it kind of sucks, to be honest. I think if people knew the real story of Tingle, they'd start to realize that it sounds like the story of my life. Yikes.
Like people would feel personally attacked about it.
Uncle Rupee, and might remind you a little Uncle Sam action. And anyways, so the Zelda games coming back would be nice. Is there anything besides those?
Yeah.
Those?
Honestly, I feel like we've gotten, like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions was one that I really wanted to play, and I ended up only putting like 10 hours into it on Switch. But otherwise, like, Nintendo Land, I loved. I played that so much, but I feel like that wouldn't really work with the Switch as well. And I feel like we've just gotten the majority of the things that, like you guys already brought up.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, that's like the one big one that's just kind of floating out there that no one really knows what's going to happen with it. We got the definitive edition from Wii. So, like, why can't we get X? I don't... Again, I've heard stories that there might be some drama around it at the actual studio, but I don't know what that drama is. I don't know if it's just, like, the creator of Xenoblade just hates that game, or
Wow.
I don't... It's some sort of crazy story that I read about back. I think I read about it on Nintendo Life, but this was, like, a long time ago. Probably predating your days there.
It could be, and I'm guilty of not reading every article we put out as well.
For shame.
One game, I know.
A guy who makes videos for them
wrist.
doesn't read all of the news they do?
I know.
That's where you
don't
work.
even watch.
Don't they pay you to read the article?
I don't even watch my own videos.
Oh my gosh.
To be fair, do you really need to watch yourself? Let me tell you,
it was just a bad joke.
As somebody who makes videos all the time, and I'm the only face that appears on the channel for the most part, it gets kind of tiring that every time I go on YouTube, it's my face that I always see. It's like, okay. Like,
oh my God, I wonder what's going to happen next in this video.
It's like, I wish I could pay somebody else to be on my channel and host half the videos so I could, like,
I mean, you could just throw off your viewers
making content on my channel, not just me.
Nate, just become a VTuber then.
Oh my God. But it's still my voice.
You're right. Well,
I could be a VTuber.
You can voice mod it.
I should start doing VTubing live streams like every Thursday or something.
You can voice mod it.
VTube streams.
Have Nate do all your narration.
I could voice mod it. I could change my voice.
Yeah,
that's right. I could.
You could have Eric do all your narrations for you.
Oh God.
Just write the script.
Yeah, Eric, I'll just send it to you. You just narrate it back. Record it on your phone. It'll be all good. We got to make this old school.
Exactly.
Old school stuff.
Send it up to Morgan Freeman.
Send it up to Morgan Freeman.
That sounds like a smooth experience. Very, very seamless, no problems.
Well, there you guys go. 2023, guys. Day one.
Morgan Freeman. Wait.
Morgan Freeman, VTuber. So, the thing is, like, they are running out of games for Wii U to bring over. Very clearly. And they've been really reliant at times on them filling in the gaps with that, which I always thought was kind of weird with the Switch, because it's the hybrid, right? It's supposed to be their handheld and home console in one. Their game output, in theory, should be superior than just one platform. Should almost be double.
Right.
but it hasn't really bared out. 2018 was kind of barren. The second half of 2019 was pretty good, but the first half wasn't. Obviously, 2020, we're all like, oh, well, it was COVID. Okay, but then it sort of happened again in 2021 until we got to the last few months. And yeah, it all leads to this year being such a massive year with games we already know, let alone, who knows, 3, 4, 5 major games could still get announced for this year. So, like, this year is going to be packed, maybe in large part because the last 2 years won. But it's kind of weird because they've really filled a lot of those gaps in with Wii U games. And while I don't know that they need Wii U games this year, it doesn't mean they won't do it. But I also think, like, how much longer do we think Switch is going to be here as, like, their primary go-to platform before they move on? Because, I really hope their history just after this year, they're blowing their load, and it could be like, oh yeah, we got 2 games for next year. Okay. Yikes.
Right. I really hope they just pull an Apple and they just make the Switch forever, because I've bought so many Switch games. Like, I've sold games from other consoles and then, like, bought them on Switch, and I don't want to do that again. I know that's just how it works, but, like, I don't know, the Switch is becoming the perfect system to play, like, so many classic games. Like, how are you playing Secret of Mana on Switch as well through, like, the collection, or
no,
or was that on the SNES Classic or something? Or
I am playing on the SNES Classic, yes.
Okay, sweet. Well, but just that as an example, though, like, the Switch just has so many easy ways to play, like, the classics, and I don't know. I think maybe it's naive of me to hope that Nintendo makes a Switch 2 and all the cartridges work and the controllers are the same, but maybe there's some new spruced up ones and there's better graphics.
Nintendo learns from the competition who's literally doing this right now.
That's true. That's true. But they always do their own
PlayStation 5
thing.
fully backwards compatible. Xbox fully backwards compatible. Like Nintendo, you don't have to abandon the whole library just to resell it to us again. It's okay.
Yeah. But they love to do that.
You can still do that and then just release a definitive upscaled 4K version and still sell it to us again. So, like,
I mean, they didn't become the richest company in Japan by doing that.
Yeah. I will say, you brought up classics. I think it's a nice little transition because I know you wanted to talk about potentially, like, any classic IPs we want to see come back in some way this year. Because Nintendo's got a huge stable. There's obviously a lot of third-party classics as well that have been gone for a long time. And it makes me really think, what do we want to see come back? And I know what I want to see come back. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to hold off on mine for a moment.
Sure. Well, the cool thing... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you say? I was going to throw it to you anyway, so...
Oh, sweet. Okay, sick. Perfect. Well, I was going to say, so I think I'm always a very optimistic person. I love to look on the bright side, and it's just the way I am.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just a happy little butterfly kid.
Yep. Zion Grassl of the 21st century. You know that reference was
my nickname in high school.
Every time.
Oh yeah. That was I never asked for that, but yeah, I always used to get Xenon in the halls of high school, and it was I hated it so much. I was so mad.
And yet one time I brought it up, you just busted out the zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Back in 2016, I still watch it sometimes. Like,
he just learned to lean into it.
Remember when I introduced him as Xenon Grassl of the 21st century, and he pounded his chest and started going zoom,
make my heart go boom boom. I don't think we're gonna get what do they call it?
Help it, man. You just got that name that just lines up kind of nicely.
Oh, totally. That's all right. I don't blame you. It's okay.
All right.
But so I'm always an optimistic person, But then last year happened, and we got things on the Switch like Famicom Detective Club, a new Metroid game, a new WarioWare game. We were supposed to get a new Advance Wars, but that got pushed to this year. And it felt like we even got a new Big Brain Academy. Where did that come from? Right. And so I think all of those games just felt so... A lot of those titles felt like things that we would never see on the Switch just because Nintendo has other priorities. Like, why wouldn't they put more resources into making another Zelda spin-off or another Mario game when they could make these classic games that, quote unquote, nobody cares about anymore? But they did. They put their efforts into those games. So that gave me a lot of hope for this year as well. And right now we don't really know about a lot of weird titles like that. Like we know Bayonetta 3 is coming with a new Splatoon. Zelda is on track to release this year.
Right. I break tradition, Nintendo. 3D Zeldas always get delayed from their announced launch year, so please.
But
don't do it to me.
Hope it seems like right now we don't have any like I guess Advance Wars is coming out this year, but otherwise we don't really have any like niche titles. And like one for me that I would love to see come back, which I already held up the box for, but Golden Sun hasn't had a chance since the DS. And that title, I didn't play much of it, but it basically was like it took place after the first two Golden Sun games, and it had been years since I played them, so I picked it up and I just didn't really care as much, I guess, at the time. And that's on me as a Golden Sun fan. Like, I should have done my part and played that game. I bought it, but I didn't give it a chance. But what I would love to see though is like Golden Sun come back in like the 2.5D style that like Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy are doing, and do like both of them together, like Advance Wars is. And honestly, not a lot of people really cared about the DS title, so I think just go ahead and leave that where it is. It's fine. You can put that on there if you want. But I think if they gave us just like a from the ground up remake of Golden Sun 1 and 2 and like a spruced up art style, that'd be killer. I don't know if that got dropped in a Nintendo Direct, not even released, just announced. I don't lose it very often in like Nintendo Directs, but that would be a thing for me.
It has
just because
when Zelda's dropped, it is. I mean, although I did go kind of nuts for Metroid Dread. Mm-hmm. Like I was excited when it initially said Metroid 5. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they dropped Dread. I'm like, no.
And we saw gameplay right away.
Dread only matters to people that know the story of Dread. Like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, it was really cool that they like held on to the title like over all those years, because I didn't know as much about it back in the day. Like I didn't read about it in Nintendo Power, but I knew the history. And yeah, it's cool when Nintendo like reaches into their infinite Santa Claus pouch and they pull out something that nobody ever expected. So I don't know. I just hope this year does more of that. I'd love to see a new Earthbound game, but I'm like, I always want that, and it probably
several times it's never happening. It's like
I know. Well, I have like hopes and dreams now.
Remaster the old ones, please.
Yeah,
we don't even have the third one over here in the US yet, but come on,
right? I just played it last year, and it's so good. Like I understand now why everybody loves it, and the way that Nintendo's working with third parties is so cool too. Because like Advance Wars is being made by Way Forward, the Shantae people. Famicom Detective Club was made by the people who make Steins Gate, which is just like an epic visual novel. Like they're trusting third parties with their IP again, unlike just giving Capcom, letting them make the Oracle games. And did Capcom make Minish Cap too?
Yes.
Does that ring? Yep. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Like we just don't. It felt like for a long time we didn't see that as often. Besides Nintendo working with like Bandai Namco, like they've worked with them for years. But it felt like they were so they had claws on their properties otherwise. But it's just cool to see Nintendo opening up and like letting that studio make Cadence of Hyrule too. Like that's so crazy. I don't know.
Dude,
it's just a cool time to be
over their major IP with an indie. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't have believed you if you told me that 5 years ago. I'd be like, no way.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It feels like a lie.
Indie studio with Zelda. Come on.
Yeah.
By the way, that's not a slight on indie studios at all. Like Nintendo has obviously been investing in them as well. That's why we have a bunch of exclusive indie games. I'm still wondering when the hell we're getting Sports Story. Like,
right?
I know those other people
realize that was
looking for sort of another game that has a knight in it that's a little hollow. People waiting for that forever. I still replay my old video footage of it from E3 over and over again because I played it for like an hour and I really loved it. And it's like, why does that demo exist but not the game? I'm confused. And again, I know COVID and everything and complicate. I understand it's a small team, but damn. Eric, do you have any classics you'd like to see come back? You are the retro gamer guy of this podcast. You are going back to the old school, wanting to bring it back forward again. Whether it's just bringing it back on Switch Online or actually legitimately new game in the franchise, a remake. What are you thinking? What do you want?
I mean, my heyday was the 64 era. So, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, F-Zero. I mean, that wasn't necessarily 64, but I mean, even then, that was just one of the games that I've always just have loved. Damn it! There was one other one that I was looking.
I mean, F-Zero is a great pick though, because we haven't had an F-Zero game since is the GameCube really the last?
Yeah,
pretty sure.
System?
Maybe was there one on DS?
I don't remember.
I'll
yeah,
look
I don't. Oh, there was the one that was like inspired by the anime on Game Boy Advance.
Yes,
I just never seen
that's what I was thinking.
Maybe. Yeah. But I mean, that'd be an interesting franchise to bring back. I've wanted that for a long while. As long as they bring back the Death Wheel, because the Death Wheel is freaking awesome, and that made the game. Another one that'd be interesting. I don't know if we have one on the Switch yet, but Wave Race. Bring back a Wave Race game.
Oh, we don't.
That'd be
sweet.
That'd be another one.
A couple of racers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Diddy
Nintendo
Kong
has one.
I mean, Diddy Kong.
Moment.
Bring back Diddy Kong. Why not? I mean, it gives Mario Kart
weird that, like they have multiple platformers, but then, like there's certain like things like we have one medieval action adventure game in Zelda. That's it. That's all we got. That's what we got for you. Oh, platformers. Oh, we got Mario. We got Metroid. We got Kirby. We've got Donkey Kong. The list just goes on and on.
Right.
And like we can have a bunch of those, but we can only have one racer because you know what? All our ideas have to go into that one racing game. Like, F-Zero can't come back unless we have a really unique idea. How about the fact that you gotta go fast 1,000% of the time? That feels like a pretty unique idea. Like, how about just the whole concept of F-Zero? I don't know. Maybe, Diddy Kong. We can fly in planes.
Yeah, right.
Kind of different, you know. Let's.
Yeah. I was just at the store the other day and saw that Wipeout got like an HD collection on PS4, and it's like if Wipeout can come back, can't Nintendo like bring back F-Zero? Like, you just give us an eShop game or something. I don't know. Just respect the franchise.
Yeah, right. God, can we get a remake of Rogue Squadron?
I want a new. We got Squadrons, but technically, well, didn't play exactly like the Rogue Squadron. I think that's why they called it Squadrons, was specifically. So it's like, yes, it's like that kind of game, but it's not the same. You're not necessarily doing the planet stuff as much. But it was still, Squadrons was still really good, and kudos to EA for actually, hey, one of two good Star Wars games you made. Congrats. And they didn't charge full price, so I mean, I can't complain about that. But yeah.
I've seen that one pretty cheap everywhere, but yeah, I never made the connection. That it's called Squadrons, and there's all the like the GameCube one, the N64 one.
By the way, for those who want to know why they didn't call it Rogue Squadron or Rogue Squadron, you know, just in general, is that Nintendo actually has some IP rights over the Rogue Squadron name.
Wow! For those who don't look at them.
So I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying Nintendo wouldn't give permission, but I don't know that EA is the company they give the permission to. So
they've got something on Disney. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Disney could buy it from Nintendo in a heartbeat.
Sure.
I don't think Disney cares. Like, do we really need to use that name? No, we don't. Okay.
Nintendo's like, hey, we want Sora in Smash, so how about we'll give you the Rogue Squadron name,
right?
And you let us.
That's why there's actually. There was some rumor floating out there that we were going to get Rogue Squadron 4 on Switch this year, and it's like, I don't know if that's true, but if it's going to be anywhere, it would be here. It makes sense because Nintendo obviously would it being on their system. It's kind of like just like with GoldenEye. It's well known that Nintendo had some publishing rights with that, so nobody knows that they still have publishing rights. It's kind of weird because it expires after 20 years, but then the documents got sealed by MGM, so like nobody really knows if Nintendo renewed it or not. But then it's like, if Nintendo didn't renew it, then why was Nintendo the one in Germany fighting with the government to get the game unbanned? So like, if they don't have any rights to it, then why are they even involved in that? So nobody knows what the hell's going on with GoldenEye, except that it's coming to Xbox.
So much
we know it's coming to Xbox. It's coming to Xbox. The achievements are out there. But like, Nintendo actually gave permission for it to come to Xbox ages ago. For the whole reason GoldenEye hasn't come back has actually nothing to do with Nintendo. Nintendo okayed Microsoft and people to publish it a long time ago. It was MGM that actually kept blocking it. And then there was the whole, when they did the remake of it, which is totally not even close to the same game, they had to use Daniel Craig because they couldn't get the rights to use Pierce Brosnan. So it was like the whole, that game is, but hey, it's coming back, so that's cool. And I have Xbox and I got Game Pass, so no matter what, even if it's not on Switch, I'm going to enjoy playing that. At least I hope it's on Game Pass.
It's cool. Like, the internet has proved that if you just ask for something enough, like, eventually it could happen. Like, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I can't believe that came out last year.
We've been pressuring for Mother 3 for
you're right.
some time. I'm not so sure.
we won't ever give up.
By the way,
will we?
You've played it. There are some reasons that it hasn't come yet. I personally think the reasons are a little hogwash, but there's some apparently some IP music issues, and then some certain references in the game that Nintendo wouldn't be okay with today. That I honestly think really aren't that big of a deal, even if it's a sign of the time. Who cares? No, you don't pretend it's new then. You know? You're bringing an old school game back.
Tough.
You know?
It's a tough thing. Like there's like stereotypes that get used, and there's like, you know, this like race of people that are I shouldn't like necessarily speak on this matter because I might be wrong, but they're like transgender, but like they're not even like really, they're not depicted in like a bad light to me, but I think some NPCs might treat them poorly, if I remember correctly.
I think it's one of those things where they might be worried about a little bit of social backlash because for some reason there's a certain crowd of people that really latch onto this, like, oh, this is just not okay. Like, this game was made a long time ago. Like, what's not okay is that we can't enjoy something that actually exists. Like, that to me is what's not okay. It already is out there. You can already play it on your computer with a fan translation. Like, just stop. Like, just let it be. Now, if they want to remake it and you want to say it's an issue, then fine. They can fine-tune that and fix that stuff in a remake. So, because I almost don't want them to fix it if they were just to bring it back on, like, Nintendo Switch Online or something. It's like, no, leave it as is, because, like, that's... Yeah, it was a sign of the times, but just let it be. Just let it be.
Yeah, it would feel like a bit of, like... Yeah, you're right. It'd feel like a bit of censorship, but I think if they were to like remake them, like give the games like the claymation art style that like they advertised them with in like strategy guides and Nintendo Power and stuff back in the day, like that'd be sick. Like let Grezzo do it or something. Now that they're done with Miitopia, like that'd be cool. And then, you know, it wouldn't feel so bad, like you said, if they changed up some things, because now they're you know, breathing new life into the game and they're giving it a new twist, and so yeah, it would feel different, but. So and that's the dream I'm going to hold on to.
Specific things that I want to come to Switch this year. I don't think either are going to happen because they involve getting new games. Like, I want a new Star Tropics. I just do. It's forgotten. Nintendo owns it. I want it. I've been wanting. If you guys haven't played it, it's amazing. I don't even know if it's on Nintendo Switch Online. I'm not even sure if it's on the NES
I don't remember.
app. Because you know what, guys?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I don't use the NES, SNES, or any of the other apps on there because I don't believe in how Nintendo's handled it. Now, this doesn't mean I want Virtual Console. I'm cool with Virtual Console, but it doesn't. I thought everything was overpriced on Virtual Console, anyways. I like the subscription service. I want them to do it better. I want us to know on a certain day every month they're going to announce the games coming to it, and we're going to be guaranteed to get them, and they don't do this. Guys, literally, Games of Gold and PlayStation Network have a select day every month that we know there's going to be at least 3 games, sometimes 5 announced as coming to their subscription services. Nintendo doesn't have that. We're not guaranteed to get games ever.
So they do have it on the NSO.
It is on NSO.
But... apparently this is from back in 2019. Apparently it's missing some important code needed to progress in the game. So
yeah, the manual, right?
yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I don't know if they fixed that, but
hopefully they fixed
I think
it.
It's like I played the game briefly back in the day, and it kind of plays like it's a Zelda game kind of, right? Like style-wise,
it's Zelda-like, yep.
But I think there was something in the game where, like, if to kind of fight people that rented the game, there was like a code in the manual or a piece of paper in the manual that you had to like dunk in water, and then it would reveal a password that you would then have to enter towards the end of the game. And
this is back when manuals mattered.
More than you realize. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you got the full. Like, if you guys ever play like Zelda 2 on Nintendo Switch Online and wonder why the hell there's no story? Oh, there's a story. It's in the manual that isn't there.
Yeah.
There's a whole big story. It's actually the original. If you guys want to know the Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda is the story of Zelda 2 that's in the manual. Now they've changed it now, and now it's all about, you know, the goddess and everything in Skyward Sword. But that was not actually the original legend at the time. It was the manual of Zelda 2 that you can't get anymore. Maybe you can probably find them on eBay, but there are digital copies you can download online for free too.
Sure.
I think maybe they put it in Hyrule Historia. I'm pretty sure. think they had it in there.
I like your idea of bringing back Star Tropics, though. By the way, I wonder if, because we see in this age, we see remakes and like games like Blaster Master Zero. Who would have ever expected a Blaster Master game to come back? And so maybe Nintendo someday would work with a team like that to remake Star Tropics or something. Because there's 2 of them, right, on NES, like Zoda's Revenge or something. I
think there was
the second one. I never played. I think I own Star Tropics 1.
No, let me.
Okay, I do, but I don't have the second one.
Star Tropics series. But there was. Zoda's Revenge. Star Tropics 2. Yep. I'd love to see that IP come back. Though. And they don't have to call it. They can just call it Star Tropics. They can just reboot it. I don't care. But bring it back in a new way. I think would be nice. And then the other one is it. Guys, this is an IP that never went anywhere. At least, it's still really popular today. It's still on platforms today. It's just been done dirty with Nintendo for quite some time. And that is a full-blown, actually new mainline Final Fantasy game on Switch.
Okay.
They did Monster Hunter World, right? The contract ended between Capcom. They did Monster Hunter World. They didn't bring it to Nintendo platforms. Then they came back and gave us a mainline Monster Hunter game. So phenomenal. We've gotten Final Fantasy with the classic games that we can play, including 7. Not the remake. Sony paid for it. But we do it. They tried Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, some weird thing. Not the remake, Eric, and not the original GameCube one. They actually had a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on Wii.
Yeah.
That was completely different.
Interesting.
Completely different than what Crystal Chronicles actually was.
Yeah, was that like a third-person hack and slash or something?
It wasn't a bad, but it wasn't mainline Final Fantasy. And the thing is, people, contrary to popular belief, Sony does not own Final Fantasy. To be clear, they don't own that IP. Square makes all the decisions. You want Final Fantasy 17 on Switch? All they got to do is do it.
Well, nowadays, the series is such a graphical powerhouse, with Final Fantasy.
So it's kind of I kind of look at it like this. Final Fantasy 15 is their online thing. Why can't there be a 17 that's just made specifically for Switch? And you still have Final Fantasy 18 down the line that's for everyone else. Just like with Monster Hunter. Why can't we get it from the ground up? What's crazy to me, and I don't know how third parties, some have caught on, Capcom's caught on now, that if you build a game for the ground up for Switch, it doesn't even need to be exclusive all the time, just a little timed exclusive for a year. It's going to sell phenomenally well, as long as it's a good game. If you build from the ground up for Switch, not ported, not cloud version, ground up for Switch, and you want to port it later to PC or other platforms, we don't really care. Octopath Traveler's on everything. We still are stupidly excited for Triangle Strategy. We're fine. We just like that there's attention to detail to build a game that fits with the platform and IPs that we really want to enjoy, like RPGs. I want a full-scale Final Fantasy built for the ground up for Switch. You want to port it later, remaster it, bring it to other platforms? I don't care. You want to have a Final Fantasy one that comes after that doesn't come to Switch? I don't care. But why can't we get something like that? It's kind of like Persona. Maybe we just need a Persona built for the ground up for Switch. I don't know. But do it. It's going to sell. I don't understand. You're leaving money on the table, ignoring 100 million plus fan base for... I can't think of even a good reason.
We are getting Chocobo GP in, I think, March.
That's right.
Again, mainline
the next Final Fantasy game
is what I'm looking at here. And the thing is, Nintendo owns Japan, where you make the games. You want to sell the Japanese gamers, it's got to be on Switch and not the cloud version. You need a real full ground up version there.
Well, I guess we did get Dragon Quest, which was full on.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot.
Dragon Quest 11 was so weird because when it came, Dragon Quest: The Elusive Age came to Switch. We even got modes that didn't exist in the other games so much, and it was in such high demand they re-released it on the other platforms so they could have those modes. It was weird. It came to Switch and it was the best version of the game. It was what. And other fans got mad about that, so then they had to re-release it, and guess what? They made you buy it all over again.
That's a game that I so heavily associate with Nintendo now that I forgot that it initially launched on other platforms first. I just forgot.
That's because they gave such good incentive to actually get it on Switch. It was almost too good, which is why other fans got mad. But whatever, I guess they tried to make it right by just reselling you the game again, because, they can't just give you those modes, those free downloads or anything for a game you already own. Just wait.
So what if you paid $60? Yeah.
Oh, you want it? Buy the NFT from the Switch owner. Have a good day.
Yeah.
God, I fear when Square Enix is going all in on that. I'm afraid. Yeah. But I just want to see these classic IPs that, by the way, guys, originally got popular on Nintendo platforms.
I got 3 more ideas.
Come back. And I'm tired of. I love spin-offs. Crystal Chronicles, the original one on GameCube, loved it.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay. But there have been other spin-off Final Fantasy games that are fine. It's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, right? We've gotten some of the mainline series, but kind of like side dishes on things like the DS, 3DS. Mm-hmm. We have, but we've never gotten the main 1, 2, 3. Now, yes, we are obviously been announced. We're getting them. We're getting cloud version.
I'm so mad.
Whatever.
I'm so mad, guys.
Cloud version again, from the ground up, built for Switch, please. I don't think a platform that's the market leader has potential to become the best-selling platform to ever exist, dedicated gaming-wise. Technically, you could argue phones are where you really want to make your money. Man,
It does feel like they're just leaving money on the table at times like that, though, right? Like, why is even the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster collection that got announced? I think some of them have come to PC. I think 1 through 5 maybe, and 6 still isn't out yet. But why is that not on Switch? I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir. I understand. But
any of these Japanese developers, I don't understand why they're look, you're in Japan. You see that everyone around you, including in your own studio, are playing Switches. Yeah. What are you doing? You're forgetting Japan, for as small as a country as it is, actually makes up quite a bit of video game sales. They're just on Switch. Mm-hmm. Look at the millions and millions of Minecraft blowing up on Switch. Get your games on Switch. Stop ignoring. And that's been an issue for the whole generation. And to some studios' credits, they haven't. Bethesda, as an example, we've been getting a lot of the id Software IP and Doom and Wolfenstein, and I feel really good about that. We did get from some other studios as well. We got Civilization 6, stuff like that. So we have gotten some of the bigger third-party games here and there, but now it's okay, if we hear as an example, this is what happens now. Oh man, we're getting that new Guardians of the Galaxy game. That's it's Cloud. And I'm cool with Cloud. It works fine in my house. I have business line internet too, so of course it works fine in my house. No problem, but only while docked. I can't just take it and go upstairs because I have a good wireless connection, but also there's still some frame dips and it doesn't look quite as good, and I don't want to deal with the in and out connection sometimes with wireless, because I don't have wireless spreaders all over my house to make sure I have maximum connection. So it's a weird situation for me where in my studio it's great, and if I live stream it to you guys, it's going to be great. It's going to look, you won't even believe it's on Switch, well, because it's not running on Switch hardware.
I think some games it differs. I don't know if Eric's necessarily going to want to take his Switch out and go play Hitman 3 in the park. But if I had a kid, and I wanted to get them into Kingdom Hearts, I would hate to tell them that they can only play it on the TV upstairs or something like that, that's just I don't know. I feel like it's so situational for games, because I think you guys are right. It works well in the right situations, but then it just also is so restricted.
Someone who only plays in dock mode, and you have really good. You have fiber, better than not. You got fiber. You got to worry about it. You won't even realize you're even playing on Switch. You're just having fun. But also, then you're probably thinking, well, if it's so good that way, why don't we get all the games? I don't know. We just don't. It's but we can't have a Call of Duty because of multiplayer. I'm well, it's on literal cloud services, so I don't. Well, why? I don't know. I honestly want things obviously built for the ground up for Switch, and I think that's always the best approach. And it's been proving time and time again to sell. I mean, all the big sellers on Switch this year are going to be ones that were built for Switch. Splatoon 3 is going to blow up, guaranteed. If Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, it's going to blow up. Pokemon Legends Arceus is probably guaranteed 10 plus million, like most mainline Pokemon games. We'll see, though. It is only one version of the game. So it being able to do 10 million without there being two versions will be very interesting. I think it can happen. Speaking of Pokemon, I just had to throw one more out there. The Stadium, Coliseum.
Oh, yeah. I mean... I got 3 more I could throw out there.
I don't know if we really need them anymore. You can argue, you can put all those mechanics in a Pokemon game, and some of them, I don't care. I like it as a standoff on its own. It gives you a reason to take your Pokemon out of the Pokemon games. Like, I'd be probably more invested in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond if I knew I could take my Pokemon, my main team from there, and just go into this giant stadium tournament style thing and just... Yeah!
The mini games in the stadium games are so much fun.
Oh my God, those mini games are N64 controller breakers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Dude, the Ekans ring toss. Oh my God.
What else were you thinking, Eric?
So many broken controllers.
And so just 3 more real quick. Off the top of my head.
Well,
yeah, right. Yeah.
I think I gave 3 total, you bastard.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised you didn't actually bring up one of them that I'm going to bring up here.
Maybe I was leaving it for you.
Maybe, yeah. The first one, I'm not 100% sure if this hasn't come to Switch yet, but Ice Climbers.
Wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it is not.
Yeah, I mean, they put it in Ultimate Smash Bros. So bring a game.
It was going to be an Ultimate because it's their former characters from prior Smash.
I get it.
But there was a while, right? I think where they weren't, the characters I think weren't going to be included because they were like too. They couldn't figure out how to.
That was on the Wii U and 3DS version. They couldn't do it because the 3DS couldn't handle. If everybody was Ice Climbers in a match, there just wasn't enough power to handle that. It wasn't the Wii U. They could do it on Wii U. That wasn't the problem. It was the 3DS that couldn't handle it. So they're like, we didn't want the rosters to be different between these two versions.
I see.
But yeah, that was never an issue with this game.
We haven't had a good Ice Climbers game in a long while.
No.
So
true. No, just like we haven't a true balloon trip one in a while.
Yeah, right. Balloon fight.
Balloon fight. Yeah. Balloon fight. So a balloon trip. God, I'm still on tingle over here.
Yeah, right. The one that I'm kind of surprised you didn't say was the 1080 snowboarding.
Okay. Oh, sure.
I mean, we got Tony Hawk coming back.
Tony Hawk coming back. So, like, if they pull out Tony Hawk, why can't we get 1080? You're right. Nintendo, I think, owns the rights to that one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
God, they own the rights to so much stuff that they just don't use.
Right. Or a snowboarding game similar to it. I mean,
and the thing is, the crazy thing to think now, like, we're talking about classic IPs and we're like going back to N64 and early, it's like, dude, GameCube and Wii are almost classic.
Yeah, right.
GameCube is classic for sure. Wii, I mean, guys.
That was 2006.
We're not that far away from it being like 20 years ago that came out.
How does it feel to know that the GameCube is 20 years old now?
That's nuts.
Like, that's just... I hate that. I hate that so much.
It just is like...
And then...
There's so many good games on the GameCube, man.
The last one that I was thinking, it would be a absolutely brand new IP, but god damn it, Waluigi never made it to Smash. Give him his own damn game.
That would be a lot of fun. It'd be cool to see
Wario got
Waluigi RPG almost or something weird.
Yeah.
Wario Land.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see Waluigi with his own. What kind of game would it be? What kind of game would it be to you?
I don't know. Make it like a Mario game, but you take the off characters. You take Waluigi, Daisy, and Luigi, and make it like a Mario game.
Birdo's there.
I mean, yeah exactly.
So Wario Land, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Because, I mean, they got rid of Wario Land and replaced it with WarioWare, which probably is crazy awesome.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
I love those little mini
just give Waluigi his love. I mean, he didn't get into Smash, so why not?
I mean, I really wish I was wearing my Waluigi shirt right now with him holding the rose in his mouth. God damn it.
I could see Nintendo doing like a little like tongue-in-cheek like experiment and release just like a small like $10 game or something on the eShop, and it's about like maybe there's like a story arc in it where like Waluigi gets like considered for Smash but then gets rejected and like I don't know, they could just kind of do like a Tingle thing but kind of like do it like be very memey about it and embrace the culture. Maybe they never will, but that'd be sweet.
Oh boy, I'm not even sure what to say to that right now.
If they do an eShop release, I think it's less of an investment. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, no one
less of a risk, maybe.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring up Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. I saw it in the chat before we even got going.
I know. See, I was expecting someone else to bring it up once again. So I mean,
that happens. So
I did actually play it. Like I love to make fun of Rusty's Real Deal, and it's quite a lot of fun. It's fun haggling with Rusty. Yeah, I was surprised.
The haggling was the best part. It was more fun than the actual gameplay. So one thing we should probably get into before we round it, because this is the beginning of the year. Happy 2022, everyone.
Yeah,
we made it. First podcast of the year. Pretty exciting.
Well
Starting off with a bang, bringing Zion back after 4+ years. Like, what the hell's happening there? It's been since basically E3 of 2016.
I know.
That he's appeared on this channel. Like, that's because things kind of diverged. I wasn't even a Zelda Informer anymore, not through choice. So, it's been an interesting 4-year run. We're ending the 5th year of Switch very, very soon on March 3rd, and then we technically enter the 6th year as of March 4th. Going to be a lot of fun there, and 2022 just already has so many. I think you can call them basically guaranteed big sellers announced this year. Obviously Pokemon, that's the huge one coming here not too long from, people are really excited for Legends Arceus getting a lot of advertisement commercials and stuff. And I think, there might even be like a little Pokemon Legends Arceus Direct or something at some point here this month. I could see that being a thing. Pokemon Company's going to do what it needs to do to advertise it. But there's so much coming. Who would have thought 4 years ago that we're talking about like a Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope as being like a big seller? Yeah. And yet the original sold almost 9 million copies in 2017. This one could easily be a 10+ million seller and crack the top 10 on Switch for a little bit, at least until Splatoon 3 overtakes it or something. And Splatoon 3, who the hell knew this quirky, weird multiplayer IP on the Wii U that 4 million people played, and okay, whatever, that's actually really good sales on Wii U, but you really knew this Splatoon 2 would hit. No, it's like a 15 million seller. Oh, by the way, now we have a third one, and it's one of our core IPs that's bigger than Zelda's ever been until then Breath of the Wild happens. So is it going to blow up like Breath of the Wild? Because this is for the ground up for Switch. Is Breath of the Wild 2 going to be even bigger seller than Breath of the Wild? There's more Switches out there built for the ground up for the Switch. You already have all the hype of the original. Is it going to be, a 20+ million seller and just shock the world? At least it was just shocking to me as someone who's covered Zelda for so long to have back-to-back 20 million seller Zeldas. We've never even had 10 before. What? We're talking about this, being more popular than Pokemon? What?
It's insane.
That's just... What? And that's just this year.
It's so great that...
know about. That's not even counting, Advance Wars 1+2 reboot camp. And, gosh, there's Project Triangle Strategy and... so many others that I know I'm just drawing blanks on right now. I mean, I know some third-party
it's hard.
Coming and
I mean, that is the cool thing, though, is that you're hitting a cool point, is that there are so many excellent looking, we don't know the quality of them yet because we haven't played them, but there are a lot of great looking, promising games coming to the Switch this year, and we only know, realistically, like you said, probably about half of what's coming this year, hopefully. And Bayonetta 3 is coming out finally after years.
And I think that any direct at any point this year, we could potentially see Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, true.
Might not even be coming out this year. I don't know anyone expect, but at literally any point, we could finally see this game that was announced back in 2017. Coming off Metroid Dread being nominated for Game of the Year. Now's the time. You take it. You don't let Metroid just sit around. You take advantage of that hype and remind people, by the way, you thought Dread was great?
Here's Prime 4.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, that was up for Game of the Year? This will be Game of the Year in 2023. Thank you very much. So I do think that might be an end of the year, if you guys can't tell, sort of enough. So maybe teased at E3. They do tease usually a big game for next year at E3. So it could be the big one they tease. To remind you, hey, we ain't done in 2023. We're not done. Yeah. Not done yet.
I could see that being like a big shadow, or maybe not a shadow drop necessarily, but bringing Prime Trilogy over finally to Switch and lining it up with a reveal for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, did you hear? It's no longer Prime Trilogy. The rumors have it now. It's a Prime 1 full-on remake, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
The rumors have changed now, so it's no longer the trilogy through, but they do plan to do it to 2 and 3 if 1 sells really well. And it's look, I actually would prefer full-on remakes, to be clear. I think that's great. But also, I feel like if you're planning to do it to all 3, then how far away is Metroid Prime 4?
Right, don't they have enough on their plate?
That's clearly next gen then at this point, so...
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, it's cool. Metroid Prime 1 remake, by the way, probably looks super badass. by the way, and would be fine. I'd be fine with that to follow up Metroid Dread, but it's like, damn, and then how far away is it? That's my only concern is like Retro Studios has had a very hard time putting out games since Tropical Freeze. I mean, God, when did Tropical Freeze come out at this point? It's been almost a decade.
It's been a long time. Yeah, it's maybe
7 or 8 years.
No.
God, it's been a while.
I saw it. Retro is
it came out in 2018, but that was just a port. 2014, yeah. And it's 2022. 8 years. February 14th, 2014. It's been almost 8 years since Retro Studios put out a brand new game. 8 years. And guess what? They didn't start working on Metroid Prime until a couple of years ago. So it's like, whatever they were working on for the 6 years before that, they couldn't get it out the door. So it's kind of like, okay, they might be the right studio for this, but dude, 6 years on whatever they were working on, not getting through, not releasing. Now they have this. Like, okay, it's probably at least another 6 years. Like,
right.
It's one of those. It's like, I'm not saying they're not going to pull it off, and they have hired massive talent over the last couple of years. Huge, big name senior developers from Naughty Dog and other, like, they're bringing in, they're investing. You look at Retro Studios, they're trying to get big name people over to make this thing rock. But also it's like, but damn, how far away is it then?
Mm-hmm. Especially with like nowadays, so like all the different moving parts, you know, like I don't know if they're going to try to pack in an online multiplayer with it as well. And there's just so many things to consider now. It's like not as easy to release a game. I feel like you need a game of that scale. You need a bigger team. But
I was just thinking, so the original rumors were that we were getting, Metroid Prime Trilogy in HD. Now it's Metroid Prime 1 Remake. They confused it back then. It was always supposed to be a remake, and it was going to be a remake trilogy, but it was too much work because they wanted to do it right. Okay, fine. What if it turns out, that's not what they were doing. They were just remaking Hunters.
I mean, I did not
Hunters
give Hunters
wasn't
the
bad.
time of day.
Yeah. There's not multiplayer shooters really on Switch, so like good ones anyways. So is Hunters a good one? I don't know, but it's a thing that exists. It does live in the world we are currently present in. It did release. It was a game. So
yeah, I wonder if that would turn into like a Metroid Prime Federation Force problem all over again.
No one out luck. It would just be Federation Force in HD, probably.
Which I've heard is a great game, but it's just not really what people wanted.
It's just, it didn't need to be tied to Metroid Prime specifically. That's for sure. It felt like they just did that. It felt like it was a new IP that they didn't think would work on its own. So let's just attach Metroid Prime to it. And it's like, no. You could maybe attach Metroid, but you don't mention Prime specifically.
I remember that E3 announcement too, because that was the first year I went to E3 as well, and I remember seeing like they announced Blast Ball, right? Like you can, I don't remember if it was a free download they were pitching it as, or it was going to be playable on the show floor or what. But okay. But and then they announced
there was a Blast Ball demo you could play.
Yeah, and then they announced, it was more than that. It was a Metroid game, and just like back in the day, I didn't have like such a affinity for Metroid, so I didn't really care as much. But if they would have just left it as Blast Ball, I think it would have been a different discussion at the very least.
Sure,
but Zion, I guess
of the games we know for this year, which one are you like? Okay, that's the one. I really got to.
Well, obviously,
I mean, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
that's everyone we have on. That's like the obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, like that's the give me. That's the okay. Yeah, it's considered one of the greatest games of all time. Like that's a give me already. It's not even here yet. Like it's a give me.
So I've been working on a video right now compiling like a bunch of the big games coming to Switch or that are rumored to come to Switch this year. So I've been kind of researching more and more stuff, and I'm really excited for Kirby. The more I watch the trailer like over again, and the more I just think about the fact that we are finally getting like a 3D open world Kirby, like that's awesome. And the world looks really charming, and even though it's kind of desolate and it looks like humans were wiped out from this potential place that the game takes place in,
what's the story behind that? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's
Nintendo
just there's a lot of potential.
Thing. Just check out Splatoon.
Totally. So Kirby's like the one of the games, but I think The one that I'm most excited to just like learn more about and that I have so much hope for is Sonic Frontiers.
Ooh, yeah.
Even though, like all of the Reddit posts or 4chan posts, like the leaks and stuff, like completely trashed the game a year ago. They got a lot of things right seemingly so far. So it seems like that.
There's that one specific Reddit one that like seems like it nailed almost everything a year ago, and it's like, okay,
right. And I guess I feel like Sega is treating Sonic differently than they did with Sonic Forces. Like my coworker John and I, we've talked about Sonic on the channel before, and he brought up that apparently when Sega made Sonic Forces, apparently they made that engine like from the ground up, and they spent a lot of time just creating the engine. So then once the engine was done, then they didn't have enough time to like put into making Sonic Forces, and that's part of the reason why it is kind of like this crapshoot of a game in the end, And so I'm hoping that like all the 4 years or whatever that they've spent away from that game, hopefully they've been able to develop something that they're proud of and that like is just fun to play. Because like I loved Sonic Adventure 1. I enjoy Adventure 2, but I know the games have problems and that a lot of people love to make fun of them. But I think there's just a lot of character and like heart within those games, even though the voice acting is wonky and the physics don't always make sense. But but they're fun to play. And so I hope Sega just finds a way to kind of like latch back onto that with Frontiers. And I hope Chow come back too. Like I want there to be a Chow companion that I can roam around the like open world with, and I can defeat enemies and unlock like costumes to decorate my Chow with, and so I have a lot of
that'd
hope.
be cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. We basically know nothing about the game, so it's a real mystery. But
Other than it was apparently supposed to be this year, was delayed for quality reasons, which obviously made people go, here we go again. But they actually delayed it, guys. They actually did delay it and admitted, we can't release this. So that's either a really, really bad sign because it was just that bad, or it's a really good sign that they're like, you know what, we need to do this right for once. We'll see. Yeah. I'm saying for once. There's been good Sonic games, but it always felt like the core Sonic team just never. I don't know if they just haven't had the time or what it is. Like you mentioned, Sonic Forces spent all this time making the engine, so little time on making the game. And by the way, making engines is very difficult. People go, why make engines? Well, I'll give you a good example. Breath of the Wild. That was a brand new engine they built from the ground up. Most of the development time was spent building that engine, but that team is just so damn good. And that engine is so tailored to what they wanted to do that they were still able to build a fantastic game within it in a shorter time frame of a couple of years or so, because they spent about 3 years making the engine. But they made that engine specifically to fit what they already were thinking of, where it's kind of like, it felt like with Forces, they made this engine where they had a bunch of ideas, but not really a concrete plan on what that engine was supposed to do for that final game. Now, whether or not they're still using that engine for Frontiers, I have no idea.
That's
but there's promise. Like, the promise of an open zone, just like, Legends Arceus, sort of Sonic game, just sounds awesome. But also, we've seen them try something like this before, and it didn't go so well. So
you end up with a game like Sonic 06. So wait,
I'm just saying, like, let's just see. I'm cautiously optimistic because I think if it is what we hope it will be, just like with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, if it is what we hope this is the year of hope. If all of these games are what we hope they will be, all these experimental Arceus and Frontiers and Kirby, like, then this is the greatest year I've seen in gaming to date. If
it's really unique, because
we already know, Zelda, it's gonna be good. 2, 3, gonna be good. Sparks of Hope, gonna be good. Like, we know some of these games are just guaranteed gonna be good. Maybe not great. Maybe Breath of the Wild 2 is a letdown. I have no idea. It could be a letdown. But even a letdown Zelda game is still really good.
Yeah, like, how do they mess it up? Like, it's been delayed there. It's like been in development this long.
Yeah, I mean, guys, to put it in perspective, they didn't spend all this time making Breath of the Wild 2 because they had to make a new engine. They've actually spent more time developing the actual game than they did the first one. And there's a lot of faith with that Zelda team.
And we don't have to worry about like a Cyberpunk thing where like Zelda, where they design Zelda for PC and then it can't perform on current gen hardware. because it's just being developed for the Switch. So.
Oh,
sorry, Cyberpunk.
Oh, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And now they're like rebooting or relaunching the game. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, the thing is, you still made a ton of money on it. It's just it could have made a lot more, and you know it. And I was like,
that's why they're
at this point, I'm like, I don't know. You can't look, Cyberpunk's fine, but you can't salvage the overall reputation at this point. You just gotta hope whatever you have next coming for like The Witcher or something, whatever you have coming, reminds people that you remember that you used to love designing games and giving time and doing it right. Because like The Witcher 3 is still fantastic.
Game eventually.
Even The Witcher 3 port to Switch was pretty good. Like, you gotta remind people that maybe you don't just make a bunch of empty promises and release a broken game. Eric,
go ahead.
What is your? Well, is it still like Sparks of Hope? Is that still your big one this year?
I got 3 of them.
You got 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
ooh, I'm coming prepared
you're just
today.
coming in hot today.
I
am. I let Zion talk, and you're just over here
because I'm here.
Like, look at that.
Yeah. Eric and I are friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've seen him more recently than I have. You bastard.
Right.
You didn't even tell me about it till today.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell me.
Even the one that was
I'm pretty sure I did.
I was like, Eric?
You didn't even tell me.
Nate, this was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
That's still more recent than me.
I was over visiting my sister because she lived over by Stevens Point, and and, you know, we're just out listening to music, and all of a sudden I turned around and was like, oh hey, I know you.
Yeah.
Technically, we probably would have bumped into each other more if we had E3 in person last year.
Yeah, probably.
This year, we probably would have.
It's okay, Nate. We'll have a moment again. We'll see each other in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what are these 3 games?
I don't want to hear that you were performing in my area again, by the way, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I would have come out. I'm telling you. I like going to bands at bars or wherever you're at. You know. Anyways, go on.
I'll let you know next time. I'll let you know.
Perfect. Okay, I'll hold you to that. Maybe I should just start stalking your Facebook more.
Yeah, right.
Be like, okay, wait. When's he got an event going on?
You could sign up for notifications on my band page, or like event alerts. Yeah. That's a thing. We played one show last year because of the state of the world, you know. But
that was true for a lot of bands.
Right. But
there were some virtual performances that people did, but
yeah,
it's kind of thought about that thing. There's the virtual. It's not the same.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got from here?
You're not gonna play a concert in Fortnite?
I don't think we're that cool.
Whoa.
We only have the budget.
By the way, those happen to be really popular.
Yeah,
it's like I don't really get it. It's just like you're just playing an MP3 and watching a digital character dance around and pretend it's rapping.
But I mean,
it's like
whatever.
Oh, but it's a real. Is it really? Do you really know that the guy's actually on a mic right now rapping to you, or they're not just playing a pre-recorded track? Like, do you really know?
Yeah.
Right. I've heard they're like cool experiences to be a part of because like.
Well, it's kind of like a one-time Fortnite, thing, like right? that'd be like kind of a cool thing. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just I'm really into Zelda, so imagine that like there's a Zelda Symphony performance inside Breath of the Wild that we can all go to this online hub area. And like, would that be kind of neat? Sure, but also, is it as good as going to Symphony of the Goddess in person? No. So,
yeah,
at least to me, some of you guys might prefer it. I don't know, but
okay. So 3 games, Cuphead. That
right.
What was the
something last dish?
I got it.
I don't think that's
the delicious / course. Delicious / course.
Yep. So the final DLC for Cuphead.
Yep. That I love Cuphead. Freaking, it's an amazing game.
It is amazing.
Then obviously Sparks of Hope.
Sure.
And then one that we saw at E3. Lego Star Wars.
That Skywalker Saga.
Look,
yes.
So damn good.
Oh my gosh, it looks like the best not just Star Wars game, the best Lego game ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that was back then.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows what it looks like?
Hasn't that game been in development for like 5 years or something like that?
It's the longest they've ever spent on a Lego game. It's also the largest Lego game. It combines all the movies into one game. You could travel to all the planets. Like this is
wow.
It's like open world.
Yes.
Like open universe.
Open universe. It is insane. And we saw the behind scenes demo. I don't know if Zion got a chance to see that at the last E3, the behind scenes demo for that. Oh my god, that demo back then. Like we went into it being like, okay, it's another Lego game. We walked out of it. When the hell is this game coming out?
Dang.
So we'll see. It's got hype to live up to. And I obviously, guys, the Switch version's not going to be the best version of it, but still, I can't wait.
I get to play it on Switch. Who cares?
I can't wait.
I don't care if it's
It'll probably end up on Game
best
Pass
version.
It'll come on Game Pass, then I probably won't even buy it on Switch because I'll just play it on Game Pass.
Right.
I'm sorry, I have a Game Pass subscription, guys. I'm not going to spend more money unless I have to.
I mean, I don't know. Will Disney let that happen? Put it on Game Pass? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, Microsoft might write a fat check. You never know.
Yeah,
that's true.
If they think it's going to be worthwhile, I guess. They thought it was worthwhile for MLB The Show, so.
Disney will probably figure out a way to put it on Disney Plus.
God. If you have a Disney Plus subscription, you get 22% off. Why 22%?
Yeah.
No, 22. That's just because it's 2022. It's clever.
Yeah, we thought it'd be funny. Yeah. Is it not funny?
Yeah. Oh, did you rent the $30 special edition of Spider-Man on our service? Because hey, it's going to be on other services too. But you know what? We technically own rights to it. It's on ours. It costs more. You get the special edition with the extra scene, and you get an extra 5% off on your next Disney game purchase.
Yeah.
There's a lot of services out there trying to incentivize really dumb ideas. But
by the way,
I got another one on Disney Plus. It's actually like the cheapest subscription service, and like now that they have Marvel shows that are actually like really good on there, to me, $6 a month. Plus, you get all the old Disney movies. It's actually not that bad, especially since my kids haven't seen a lot of it. So not knocking Disney Plus. Actually, especially if you have a family, it's actually
I
almost better than Netflix in
it.
some regards. Netflix has more adult stuff that comes out more frequently, but you also pay a lot more for that. So, what was your third? Was that your third?
That was my third.
That was your third.
Yep.
Okay, Sparks the whole
Star Wars.
That.
Yep.
And
Cuphead.
Yep.
So I just got one. Look, I'm excited for a lot of different games this year. Obviously, probably gonna own every exclusive this year. I don't think there's a single Switch exclusive that I'm not looking forward to, and a lot of third-party games like Sonic Frontiers that I'm also looking forward to at least trying. We'll see if I actually end up pulling the trigger on it. Who knows? And maybe this is when we finally get that rumored Resident Evil Switch exclusive. Might be this year or something too. Who the hell knows? Capcom, they don't have a partnership program. I applied. We'll see if Capcom decides I'm worthy.
Yeah, nice.
We'll see. I'm probably not. I don't get review copies of big games. Just lots of little indie studios talking to me, which is totally fine. Keep talking to me, but it would be nice to be like, oh, a big game coming to Switch. I can actually give you preview coverage of. That'd be cool. But I will say, this is a game that's obvious. It's going to sell really, really well, and there's just something about it that I know I'm going to enjoy specifically because I'm a YouTuber, and that's Splatoon 3. Probably coming out this summer based on my guess. I don't know. It could come out sooner. It could come out later. I don't know. They already started advertising it with the 2022 little animation on Twitter. So, yeah, I think it's coming out in the first 6 months. And probably May or June. And I just look at that game and I go, look, I already know it's going to be really good because the prior two were really good. It's a really funny game because the background story of the entire franchise and like playing through the single player is so dark. It's like stupidly dark. Like Nintendo doesn't tell stories like this, but they do in this game because the art style just kind of lets them get away with it because nobody takes it as serious as the story really is. Like it's not just post-apocalyptic. There's torture. There's a lot of crazy things that they put in that story that I don't think people realize. Unless you go read the Wikipedia page on the story or something. It's dark. But they just get away with it because the gameplay is so whimsical. The characters look so fun. And, you got the old guy with the beard walking around. And you got the sisters always doing their thing. And it's just, okay, it's goofy. And you're shooting paint at each other. It's funny. And by the way, there was a time that we literally killed each other and destroyed all humans.
Oops.
Do you understand? It's so...
I mean, that's a game that could come back too.
I'm so excited for Splatoon 3. And it's obviously like, I'll love the single player, I'm sure. And I love how they tie the Splatfest into it. Like the final Splatfest really determines what the story for the next one's going to be. I like that they do that because it really makes it feel like a community event. At least what was the final Splatfest at the time. They brought some of the old Splatfest back just to give you something to do. But Splatoon 3, I know I'm going to be playing it with our patrons and our members on our channel. I know we're going to have several live streams. I do game live streams every Tuesday. Don't be surprised when that game comes out. We skipped the podcast that week, and it's just 5 straight days of playing Splatoon every night because Splatoon 3 is amazing. I just know.
So what you're saying is Wednesday night we're just playing that?
No, we'll still do the podcast.
While playing.
But it's like, am I playing it while the podcast is? Am I sitting there with my Switch, like, like it's kind of like there's only select games that come out that I know I'm going to spend a bunch of time in a row streaming on this channel. Breath of the Wild 2. That's going to be the one that's not just a night stream. That will be planned ahead. Babysitters for the kids. Probably Friday through Sunday. Streaming at least 22 of those hours. It's going to happen. There's going to be super long live streams. I'll be streaming the moment it goes up at midnight, or if it goes up a little earlier because the digital version's a little earlier, fine, then I'll buy the digital version just so I can play it a little earlier. I don't know. But I'm going to be playing it all the way through, maybe to the end. We'll see. I don't know. Because I like to explore. So that's like when Breath of the Wild came out, it was such a big community event. I was streaming it on like the Zelda Informer Facebook page and the Nintendo Prime YouTube channel at the same time. And this crazy crap was happening. And we had like 30,000 people watching. And I'm sitting there on Eventide Island kiting the damn Hinox for like 4 hours, just bomb kiting it and killing it slowly. And everyone's like, this is like the most badass experience I've ever seen. Is he really this difficult? No, he's really not. But I don't know any better. I don't know what the hell's going on. And like, it's just a brand new experience. We're all experiencing together, and it made it so much like fun. Like for the first time, a single player Zelda game, I got the idea of what true community is like when it's something so wildly different.
To a certain extent, it almost felt like a multiplayer game because everybody was so invested with you.
Yeah, they were so like, when I took out that Hinox, they were like, oh my god, that is. I'm like, dude. That was one of the badass things I've ever done in Zelda.
That was kind of the same way I got
then you find out I don't know, 2 hours later, I could have just like did two things and killed it in like 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the same feeling I got at E3 too, though. I mean, when we were both playing it, it was like, holy shit, you did that! Holy shit, you did this!
And that's like with Splatoon 3, where it's not so much the holy shit moments, it's the community aspect that we're all playing this brand new game together. Some will be better than others. Skills translate. But also, they mess with the motion controls and things just enough to almost level the playing field at launch. And it just ends up being, like everyone knows, the motion controls in Splatoon 2 were slightly different than the ones in Splatoon 1. And I fully believe that was because they wanted to reset the playing field a little bit to make everyone who just bought the game feel like they have a chance against anybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so, like, I don't know if they'll do that again with the third one. Maybe they won't, but I do know that we're going to play the hell out of it. We're going to have a lot of fun. People are going to be fighting to try to play with me. It's just how it goes. And guys, I can guarantee you, by the way, every time I stream Splatoon 3, I'm not always going to play with you guys, because sometimes we're going to be like, hey, let's do ranked matches, and unless they enable me to partner up with people and rank up together, I got to do that on my own.
That'd be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see. Like, we don't even know what all the modes are going to be in this game yet. Supposedly there's rumors out there about they changed up how lobbies work, and that we can actually like set up groups and plan things out, and I can be in a match and invite friends to it and not have to give you codes and not have to go to stuff. Like, apparently they're and that's great. I would love to see them take it seriously, because this game is like a poster child for Nintendo Online.
You could turn it into a massive esport. I mean,
and they advertise it as an esport.
You could do a team rank battles. Yeah. I mean,
so I am really excited for it, and it's the one game I know coming out this year that is going to have X amount of days in a row where I'm just streaming the hell out of it. Because like Legends Arceus, sure, I'll stream the hell out of it launch, and then I don't know if I will be continuing for 2, 3, 4 days. I don't know. Zelda, I know I will. Splatoon 3, I know I will. So like Splatoon 3 is that game that's like, that's going to capture. That's my multiplayer game of the year probably, and I'm going to play the hell out of it, and I can't wait. I literally cannot wait. When I did the little Splatoon 2 little story from a couple days ago in my video today, I just kept looking at that animation and going, my God, I need this in my life today. Because I miss Splatoon 2, guys. And yeah, I can go back and play it, but wow, Splatoon 3 coming. Splatoon 2 is old news. I need the new one.
I was gonna say I've never told you this because we haven't I haven't had a chance to show you in person. I probably can't pull it up, but I have a Splatoon tattoo. I beat Splatoon 2 at a tattoo shop with a friend. He was getting a tattoo, and I wanted a random way to commemorate the fact that I beat it, and I wanted a tattoo, so I got a little squid on my leg. I wonder. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna see if I can maybe
see how
show
flexible you are. Can you get it up in the air?
Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You see that? I got Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good enough. I just got a little.
It's actually right in frame.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that came out real well.
At least it's not like my mom when she got her first ever tattoo and she got a frog on her ankle and then literally shattered her ankle like 2 days later.
Yeah.
And now she got it amputated, so.
No, she lost the tattoo.
She's like, I don't know if I can ever get a tattoo again because I'm just going to shatter whatever area that tattoo is done on. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. And now, like, I'm afraid. Like, I wanted to get tattoos for a while. I'm just so afraid that, like, you know what? That happened to my mom. What am I gonna do? I'll get one on my neck or something, and then next thing you know, my freaking trachea collapses or something.
Right.
The luck
of my family is not good. Well, my sister has luck in anything that's chance related, but not in health. Oh my god! Every health problem in the world, she.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I have COVID. Oh, I also can't eat gluten. I also have high blood pressure. I also this. I also that. And I'm like, oh my god, are you gonna live? Are you gonna survive the pregnancy? I'm really.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried. I'm gonna be at the hospital, so please come out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to find out that. I know you're married and everything, but I guarantee you Ryan's gonna ask me in that moment to help raise that kid, and I don't know that I want a fourth. So. Mm-hmm. Please live. I love you, sis. Please be here. You're younger than me. You're supposed to outlive me, damn it.
Yeah, right.
But with her health complications, I don't actually know if she will. Cool. So, yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to kind of touch base on here for 2022? I mean, guys, we're beginning of the year. This is where the hope is at the highest.
Yeah, right.
There's
I really
so much hope
by the
for
way,
this year.
I just want Splatoon 3 to have like a story mode that doesn't feel like every level is disconnected. I have not played the Octoling expansion yet. I bought it. It's like on my back. It's on my digital backlog, and I know I need to get to that. But I just felt like I enjoyed the story of Splatoon 2. I never played the story in 1, but I just like felt. I felt that I just wish like it gave us a world to kind of roam around in, and it kind of looks like Splatoon 3 might take us in that direction with some of like the trailers and stuff we've seen. But
I want to clarify something quick.
I want that.
There was a couple of questions in the chat. Why would her husband ask you to raise the kid? I want to be clear here. Ryan, my lovely, brother-in-law. He's an amazing guy. He's 21. And I'm going to be honest, he doesn't know what he's doing. Love him. I don't know him and my sister just work. That's cool. Their relationship works for them. If she dies, she's the responsible one. I just know he's going to look at me and go, you need to raise my kid. I just know it. Let me put it this way, guys. My sister had a conversation with me 2 weeks ago where she said, I don't even want to ask. You are the godparent to this kid, period. One of us dies, you're taking care of it. I'm like, what do you mean one of us? Shouldn't it be both of you? No, one of us dies, you're taking care of it. I'm like,
wait, what? Yeah,
wait, that's not how godparents work. Yeah. I'm the emergency backup if everyone dies, not... Yeah. No. She's like, and if I die, I might be like custody transfers to you. I'm like,
hey, I mean...
No, I said, what does that say about your husband? He's like, he just looked at me and goes, yup.
Yup.
I'll be involved, but yup.
Hey, at least on the bright side, James in the chat says if you design a Nintendo Prime tattoo that he'll get it. So that's awesome.
Oh.
If you design...
I mean, you could take the
you can literally you could take the podcast logo. Look at that podcast logo right there. I can give you the art asset for that. You can throw that on you. I've got that Nintendo Prime design on this T-shirt here. You can get that tatted up, or you just want black. You're looking for like a black kind of thing because I don't have.
No pressure, James, but that's sick.
Yeah. You can.
I mean,
you can get hype responsibly tattooed on you.
Just make sure you spell it correctly.
Yeah, right.
Make sure you spell it correctly. Don't. Yeah. We don't need any regrets around here.
No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jake Randall, by the way. How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream, my guy. I saw you streaming this morning for those PS5s, baby. Keep it going, buddy. Keep helping people get those. You know what sucks about... Okay, so all these scalp things this year, like that's been happening last year. So I don't need one. It's just a selfish want. The RTX graphics cards went up on Best Buy earlier today. And for the first time in all these years, just out of curiosity, I actually clicked on the link, and I had a 3090 sitting in my cart that I could have picked up today at Best Buy. Now, it's $1,500, so it's not like I'm just going to do it. But then in the back of my mind, I go, do I look at Yuli and go, look, if we just buy this, I'll flip it, and then I'll try to buy another one for real to keep it. We'll just keep the profits.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that jerk, but also,
well, it's like at the end of the day though, is it even like worth it to flip? Like I don't know what the profit margins are on that, but like after you like sell it and ship
I don't
it
even
and
know
there's
what.
fees
Like
and,
you see them for $3,000 on eBay, but I don't know if they're actually selling for that.
What? Oh my god!
Yeah,
I guess
don't know if they're
I
actually selling at that price.
I see people like selling PS5s and Xbox Ones or Xbox Series X's on Facebook Marketplace all the time for like $650, and I'm like, was that worth it to you to like, I don't know, like put in the time to like get it? I guess like people are making a living off of it, but like I don't know. That's just
some people have bots and like
oh sure,
it's like they click a button, the bot will just take care of it for them as long as the money's in the account. You know, they'll just be asleep and wake up and, oh, look, I bought 17 PlayStation 5s. Well, we'll go flip those in the next week. Jake knows all about that. He literally, like, that's his wheelhouse, is trying to combat against people doing that to get people their PlayStation 5s, Xboxes, even Switch OLEDs, because they've been, tough in stock. So, yeah, if anybody, by the way, go follow Jake Randall if you guys are trying to get your hands on any of this stuff. Even, like, today, the whole reason I even got the RTX 3090 in my cart was because he retweeted it, and I was like, I wonder. Oh, it's Best Buy. Oh, it's for local Best Buy. Click. Oh shit. Oh shit. I can get one.
I mean, that's how I got my Xbox.
Best Buy changed up the thing where once you get it in your cart, that specific unit is now reserved for you for like 10 minutes. So you don't even have to have all your credit card information, or you have 10 minutes to pull off that purchase. Like. Yeah, kudos to Best Buy for that, by the way. Like, nope, we understand people are fighting website crashes. Screw it. You get it in your cart, you've got 10 minutes. We're not going to yank that unit from you. Credit to them for that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. I got sent an email a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, that I got offered from Sony to buy a PS5, and I just don't have I don't feel like throwing $500 at a PS5 right now, so and Christmas, and so I definitely did not have the money to do that. But my brother's been wanting one for a while, so I offered it to him, and I actually managed to I had to buy it through my own PSN account, but it was still kind of
is that the Sony Direct thing or whatever?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so we did that, and I was kind of racing to buy one for him, and I rushed it so bad that I typed in, we mailed it to my grandparents' house, but I typed in the wrong address just slightly, and I didn't tell him. So if he's watching this by chance, which he could be because I shared this on Facebook, I'm sorry that I goofed on that, Alex. But it showed up, and it was all fine and dandy and everything, but I was sweating for a week.
It was one of those, crap, if they come and that address isn't there, and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And are they back? And they're like, sorry, your order's been canceled, shipping error, here's your refund. And,
yeah, for real. Because it was all
that
doing
is stressful
this good
when you mess it up.
and
That happens on Amazon too sometimes. Because I do giveaways, and if I'm shipping an item directly off Amazon, I type in just one little thing off. Sometimes it's even a special character that looks like an E, but then it's not. It's different, and I don't do that. They don't get their item, and they start yelling at me about it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You tried to do. You just tried to do a good thing.
Here's the evidence. Look. Oh, you messed up my address. God, you suck.
Yeah.
It's okay. I actually now, by the way, because of various reasons, I now actually have a full legal document, which I should have had for giveaways this whole time. So if something does get messed up in shipping, my fault or otherwise, and someone bitches at me about it, I could literally just say, yeah, you're just not going to get it anymore because this was free, and now you're making it a bigger hassle for me. I already feel bad that I messed up. Now don't bitch at me about it. I jokingly call it the no bitching policy, but technically it's in there that for any reason, I could just take your winning away. It doesn't matter what that reasoning is, and that's specifically because, God, I hate when people complain about free giveaways, man. Nothing's worse. It's but it's been 4 months. I'm sorry, it's been 4 months. It slipped my mind, but also it's free. So just give me your shipping address, send it to you. No, you could just give me the money. No,
now you want this?
How that works?
You'll get this.
I don't know. I'm gonna get lawyers involved. Okay, you do that. Now I have a legal document, so now it's not going to work. My legal document, by the way, I was very smart about this because I know I can get very forgetful. I have 90 days to first even email you back the first time. And it doesn't matter what I say in that email. It doesn't matter if I promise you'll get it next week. It doesn't matter. the legal terms of the giveaway say I have 90 days just to contact you about it, and then 5 years to actually send it to you. Now, it's a hell of a long time, and I don't ever expect to take 5 years. But it's one of those, I'm waiting for the one person to be like, I want a $5 eShop gift card, and you just forgot, and I waited 5 years so I could sue your ass. I'm like, good luck. Good luck. I don't even...
Congratulations.
I bring that to a lawyer or
$5.
a small claims court, and they would just laugh at you. Be like...
they'd look at you and go, give them their $5. Okay, there you go.
They might make you pay me $5 for the hassle of you trying to make a big deal out of it. But, it's one of those...
There are those people.
You got to go through that sometimes. Cool. So you said you got a video you're working on over at Nintendo Life. Is there anything you want to maybe advertise, talk about a little bit about what you guys got going on over there at the channel?
Sure. Yeah. So the new year just started. So we kind of put out. All of us took like a week or two off. So we're kind of a little bit behind, because of the new year and stuff, and it was so needed. I'm so glad. But yeah, so like now we're now I'm putting together like a big. Last year I did the 25 most exciting games coming to Switch basically in 2021, and so now I'm basically doing that again. But I'm really excited because like I feel like the past month has just been kind of like go for me at least. Like we've been just trying to like get so many videos done in this past month. And now this new video, I'm like taking a lot of time to like, spend some extra time on like some jokes and just do little silly things. Cause like that, I love that. I love just like little gimmicks and things like that so much. And so, so I'm pouring lots of time into this video. And so, so go check out Nintendo Life, but Nate also gives you plenty of the Nintendo news that you want as well on Nintendo Prime. So you're good where you are. But
well, I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit less news because, there's been a lot of reliance on like rumors and leaks over the last, a little bit because news has been a little slow.
Yeah.
And did you see what your buddy John did today to a certain Nintendo insider on Twitter?
I didn't really understand because like I'm not not being mean. I just didn't know who that was, and like I just didn't.
So that's
I don't know.
Samus Hunter. She's been a self-proclaimed Nintendo insider for a while, and I was kind of the person that almost created her platform a little bit because I covered something she said. Like, I don't even know. Was it March of last year? And it ended up coming true. And so she gained this huge following, and now she's got, like, more followers on Twitter than I do even. Because ever since then, people discovered her because of me, and then, comicbook.com and all these other places now cover her stuff. And the thing is, John just basically outright called her on something that she claimed that isn't true at all, and then she tried to argue back against him that John can't even talk about it because he'd be under NDA, and John's like, you can't be under NDA for something that doesn't exist yet. It's kind of like a massive red flag of you have no idea what the hell you're talking about and you're just making it up. Like he wasn't even being mean about it. He was just like, I'm like, this is the truth. What do you want me to? I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, John's so nice. He's
I've talked to him a few times. He's never, even if it's like, okay, yeah, I need to say something because this is just total bullshit. But also, not going to like be a dick to you about it. And then like, then she kind of went on the sob story after she blocked him, being like, it wasn't necessarily about him, even though he said something on his Twitter. Like, he just said don't listen to her because she's just making stuff up, and I can prove it. And then I guess, there's backlash of other people, and I did a little response to her where I just said, look, I mean, you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. For starters, you're dealing in rumor and leak land. What the hell do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm like, for starters, you should already know that by now. And two, I mean, you did get caught, like, red-handed, bold-faced lying, and then tried to pass it off as somebody else's rumor when you never referenced who that person was. So
source your shit. So
yeah, it was. I just kind of found it funny because I love John. I've been following his content for a long time. Back on the old channel that we won't name for different reasons why everyone kind of dipped on that channel at one point. And then moving on to Nintendo Life, and I just kind of found it just a smidge amusing today. Just a smidge. Yeah. Like as someone who covers all this stuff, and I have, by the way, I got no way to verify anything. How would I know if people have review copies of Pokemon Legends Arceus already or not? I wouldn't know. Nintendo ain't working with me. I don't get review copies of jack shit. So
I mean, you're right though. Like Nintendo's very careful with that kind of stuff, and it's like if we had an NDA or something that we wouldn't be able to speak about, he's right. Like we wouldn't. And maybe
like,
somebody else out there has
something that doesn't exist.
yeah, and maybe somebody else out there has like.
It was funny because she's like, oh yeah, well you can't say anything anyway because you're under NDA, and he's like, how am I under NDA again? I don't. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious. So I love John, man. He's a good dude. It's just like Alex, man. You know how many times I've tried to get Alex on our podcast? It's just time zones, just it doesn't line up.
Dude, it's hard. Yeah,
he's like literally because there was one time he was going to come on like 2 years ago, and he just so apologized to me because he fell asleep, and I'm like, dude, don't.
Oh no,
you don't have to ever apologize, dude. When we're in that different of a time zone, it's hard. One of us has to completely change our life to make it happen. So it's just. You know, the only real time is if, hey, you know what, you end up traveling to the States and happen to be here for E3 or something. Okay, sure. But usually it doesn't do that, so.
Yeah, the only way we ever, like, actually get together to do chats is, like, if I wake up in the morning, Otherwise, like, they don't happen because they have, like, families and lives, just, like... beyond. But
guys, you guys should absolutely go check out Nintendo Life and obviously Zion's upcoming video whenever it's ready. Hopefully soon. And obviously John and Alex content as well. They do awesome stuff. You guys know, hi everyone, I'm Alex from Nintendo Life. Yeah, everyone knows it at this point. He's a staple in the Nintendo community. And obviously go check out NintendoLife.com.
So nice.
Can't be remiss. That is, in my opinion, the best Nintendo news website in the world. A lot of the stuff that we talk about on our channel that isn't from the rumor land comes from Nintendo Life First. They are literally the first website I load up every day.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. Thanks.
I mean, it just is. Because usually if it's there, it's real news. Usually. Every site
we do cover. Yeah, I mean, we cover like rumors, like just to like
usually it's the more
stuff, but yeah, like
the more credible ones. And then, guys, if you guys are wondering, my news rounds, it always starts with Nintendo Life. Then it starts with just quickly kind of scrolling through my Twitter feed just to see, because I have all the different news websites on there. And then I go to like the Nintendo Switch Reddit, and that's kind of like my roundabout way of trying to find stuff to make content on. And then if there's nothing, well, a lot of you guys think I just pull shit out of my ass, but no. Then I actually just make a discussion video, things I'm excited about, game I'm playing, etc. So... I don't know, but go check out Nintendo Life, either the YouTube channel or the website,
or both.
Subscribe to both. Well, you can. I mean, you really subscribe to the website. I guess there's an RSS feed. You can subscribe to that on Nintendo Life, but
just add a bookmark on your phone on your web browser.
Oh, you can do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Good bookmark.
So you can technically
do that for their YouTube channel
Life?
too. It is possible. You can make the YouTube channel bookmark as well. Seriously though, they make excellent content. I'm sure you guys have heard about them by now. If you haven't and you enjoyed Zion talking here, it's basically three really cool dudes talking about Nintendo.
We just did a video recently where we talked about Chrono Trigger, and it's like, and it did so well, but we didn't even talk about anything new. Like there was nothing that we brought. Like, I mean, we just conversed about it, and we brought on, we had a guest for that video, so it wasn't even John, Alex, and I. It was John and I, because Alex was on vacation. But like we just talk kind of like what you do. Like we just talk about whatever we want, and it's really fun.
It's awesome.
Like we don't feel like, I mean, sometimes like we're talking about a new game because it's relevant or whatever.
The pressure of the new stuff, yeah.
But yeah, we just do what we want, so it's fun.
Do you review games over there yourself on that channel?
Sometimes, but usually I'm like, I don't have a lot of experience like writing reviews, so it's a struggle for me. But so like I reviewed,
it's almost an art.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's like a lot of pressure on it, and just like
not forgetting little details that can make a difference, and the flow. That's usually the hardest one's the flow. To be entertaining,
Yeah, I reviewed Neo: The World Ends With You this past year. I keep forgetting it's not 2021
Yeah,
anymore.
right. It's 2021 in the past, buddy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And that game like makes me not want to review a lot of games because it ended up being 40 hours long, and I played it in like a week and a half. So that was a lot. But mostly I'm always giving my opinions, but just maybe not in like as like in depth of a way. Something that isn't sucking the soul out of me.
D-Dub, I'm not jealous or in love with Zion. Just so you're aware. Just so you're aware.
I mean, we love the dude.
I'm proud of where he's gotten in this whole content creation thing.
No, come on.
But no, I love what I do. Even if Nintendo Life came to me today and offered me a spot, I'd probably be like, I can guest once in a while, but I'm not gonna. Ain't no full timer over there. I got my own thing going on here. My way, doing it my way.
I can hit you up sometime though. I should. It's mostly. I think I've explained before too that I'm usually like making stuff so I don't want to say so quick, but it's like it's hard to. You get this. It's hard to like rely on people sometimes.
Oh
and
my!
Like it's just,
you don't.
Yeah, it's
this
just
podcast alone, like. We'll have people scheduled like a month out, and then they just bail the day of. And it's like, are you
sometimes without even saying anything? I can't
get a new guest the day of. Like, are you serious? Like, you couldn't at least give me like 24 hours notice? Like, this is not like the whole quality of the show goes down if I don't have that guest because it fundamentally changes everything. I build the show around like today. I knew we're talking about 2022, and I just said I don't really have specific topics. And they're like, oh, dude, I got some ideas. And it's like, sweet. Like it ends up being built around the guest because I want it to be relatable to the guest, so it's a good conversation. So like I might have this whole show built out that I spent a few days just conceptualizing and going back and forth with topics, and all of a sudden, you pulled out, and if I get a different guest, are these topics even going to work with this guest? I don't have the research for this anymore. I already have thumbnails that I pay a guy to make my podcast thumbnails that might have already been made. Now I gotta change that and pay him again, and it's like, dude, you gotta. This last minute cancellation, but I mean, I get it. We all have lives. Like things come up. I'm not. No, it's like I might have never last minute canceled on someone, but I'm not saying that something couldn't happen that could cause me to do that. I've just been fortunate. So.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's tough, man. Especially for me too. I was a solo content creator. Like getting guests on is such a big thing for me because you guys hear me talk literally every day.
And you guys don't hear me talk on the podcast.
Voice, so like, maybe you guys don't, but I get tired of my own voice. So,
and you guys just don't hear me talk on the podcast. So there we go.
There are quite a few episodes where I think there was an episode. Not the last one, although I mean that one just went on forever. Yeah, Andres Restart. He's a great guy, but him and I are too alike in that we can just talk and not stop. But they're. God, it was like 5 episodes ago or something when I was doing the audio version. I was just kind of scrubbing through it, and I'm like, so Eric said a grand total of 3 sentences in 90 minutes.
Yeah. I did. There was probably nothing in the topics that I had. That doesn't
sound promising.
It also depends on the guest, though, too. If they have a lot to say too, I generally try to
let them talk. What I need to do start doing, Eric, is like, okay, it's been 45 minutes. So Eric, I'm tapping out for a bathroom break. It's a number 2. I'll see you in a good 20. Have fun.
And watch the damn thing fall apart. Yeah.
I know. I'll probably just sit up there and be like, let me super chat Eric.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah.
Make sure you talk about Eric this. Will be doing shots over here.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, be sure to go check out Nintendo Life and everything. They make excellent content over there. Obviously, who knows? Maybe we'll end up collabing with them in the future on some other content. We'll see what happens on their channel or ours. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Zion, for taking some time. I know we've been pseudo trying to make a podcast episode happen for a couple of years now, but it's been very difficult. Schedules are hard to line up. We'll probably have you on again at some point again in 2022.
I would love to. Yeah, and it was fun.
I like what you told me when I messaged you about it. You said, dude, you just got to give me like a week or 2 or some notice, and we'll make this happen. I was like, hell yeah, okay,
nice.
Okay,
yeah, you gave me a date, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing that day, but there's nothing on the schedule, so let's do it.
Let's do it. You're on the schedule now, baby.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank everyone for tuning in. You guys can catch our podcast everywhere that podcasts can be heard, from iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. It's everywhere. Type in Nintendo Prime Podcast. We also have a Nintendo Prime Podcast channel as well. So if you caught this live or you're watching a little after bit before we actually get it up on the new channel, go check it out. Link down in the description. Nintendo Prime Podcast on YouTube. You guys are amazing, and we'll catch you next week for episode 34.
Heck yeah.
We're almost to how old I am.
Yeah, right. Well, we hit almost to how next week I'll be as old as I am. There you go.
Oh boy. Yeah, right. You're young. And everyone in this household at the moment is younger than me.
Yeah.
God, I'm such an elder statesman. All right, guys. Catch you.